everyone, and welcome to another Vengeance God stream. My name is Mikey Fatum, also known as Vengeance God, also known as Ambassador Kel, and I'm excited to see you all today. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Trexpert, how you doing? I am also joined today by the amazing disembodied voice of Thomas Veroni. Say hi, Thomas!
Hi, Thomas.
I knew it. You did it. Good job. Always picking up on the cues.
Yeah. I'm excited to be here and be the little devil on your shoulder that tells you to put the compies and velociraptors in the same pen.
That's just an afternoon snack. Oh, hey, Katrina. Oh, while I've got both Thomas and Katrina on the line, congratulations, you two.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Katrina's socials and then Thomas's socials for a huge breakdown. But two of my favorite people are currently engaged, and that's great. But anyway, time for life to find a way. So I've been doing a little bit of the campaign in my spare time. Oh, I forgot to turn on the sound bar. Thank you for reminding me, Trexpert. Let me pull that up real quick. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. And open the area. You have to press so many buttons to get this notification area open. I should probably just leave it open all the time. But anyway, we've been doing a little bit of the campaign in my spare time, but I am going to do Sandbox, I think, today, because I want to try A, Sandbox, and B, the brand new island generator, which just sounds extremely
that's cool.
fun.
Yeah.
So, chat, I'm going to let you guys figure out how difficult we want this to be for me. Because there's a lot of options here. You know, okay, I'm going to turn off dinosaur cohabitation to normal, not to everybody likes, because sticking a T-Rex and a Diplodocus in the same pen and having them not fight would be hilarious. Let's see. Aggressive animals. No, actually, I shall enable that. Oh, won't hunt of their own species? Never mind, that's about hunting kids. Negative... That's like, will they hunt their own young? Jesus, let's leave that off. I like having dinosaur comfort on. Okay, I'm gonna turn on danger to guess, obviously.
Yeah, I really like. I think they started it in Jurassic in the second game, but like instead of for like the different types of vegetation and like how they affected the dinosaur moods and stuff, I thought that was really cool.
I really love in this game. Let's turn on contracts and scientists. Scientists. We can leave scientists unrest off. I really like in this game how you can now click on the dinosaur, click on their needs, and then it'll take you right to the thing you need to build to make that work. Let's see. I'll go with high cash instead of unlimited cash. I'm trying to make this not quite as like super easy for me, but we will leave, you know, we will leave no weather on. All right. Oh, and I would like Jurassic Park staff and guests.
Yeah.
It's just a better aesthetic.
Yeah, I'm glad that comes like that came with this game.
Yeah.
Because I remember how excited I got when they added it to the second one, but it was in DLC. It wasn't, it wasn't at launch. But I much prefer for Sandbox anyway. Like just doing that, that's what. I mean, that's the height of the franchise, right? They should leverage that.
They should. I mean, it's. I liked all the Jurassic World movies, which I know not everyone does. But it's just there's just something about Jurassic Park. It's like a perfect movie. So this is the island generator, and so basically what we can do, you can see as I'm tabbing through, it's generating different shapes for the island, and different things. You might hit 100,000 points today, Trexpert. Good for you. Thank you for being so supportive. I appreciate you. Let's see what this one looks like. I'm trying to find something that'll give me a bit more land than this. I may have to just go next island. Oh, there we go. That's not bad. If I
Nice.
reduce the
Yeah,
amount
that's
of
good.
mountains. Hey, there we go. That's nice. Nice big lagoon. That looks pretty good. All right, let's go for it. Yeah, me neither, Trexpert.
My, look at you. Staring at an example of nature's endless possibility. Endless complexity? Of course, there's no way to predict how that complexity is going to express itself over time, but considering that the dinosaurs are involved, I got a few educated guesses.
I love that they've gotten Jeff Goldblum for almost all of these games. I think at least for 2 and 3. There's just something about having him sass you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I'm sure it was like not an insignificant chunk of their budget just to have him do the VO.
Absolutely. Man came in for 2 days of VO and it was a quarter of the budget. All right. So we should figure out first where people are going to be entering the park. Can I build on the beach? Because if so, I'm totally going to do that. Arrival point. Now, the other really cool thing about this game is that they've added in-game mod workshops now. So
oh wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
So I'm gonna dive in and see what sort of cool arrival points have been made by the internet.
Yeah, because now you can like take a basic building and like prop it up, right, and then save that as its own kind of version of, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh,
that's neat. Let's start with a high-speed train station. Oh, I see. It doesn't come with the train. That's unfortunate, but oops.
how do you add the train?
I guess I'll have to find the train and like add a track or something. No, that's all aesthetics anyway. So, where'd it go? Arrival point. Oh no, never mind. I just didn't have it selected.
Nice, cool.
Too steep. I'll give you steep terrain. There's a way to. There we go. F. Way to get more granular on how you're setting stuff. Okay, so now we know where people are going to enter the park. What is the first thing they're going to see? I've got. Is this deep water? I can make it deep water. I just kind of babble while I'm streaming, Thomas. So if you have, feel free to dive in at any point.
I'm just watching you make stuff. But I mean, like the entrance to Jurassic Park has to be the big doors, right? Like that. I guess that's the entrance to the part where the dinosaurs are has to be the big giant King Kong doors.
You are 100% correct.
But I mean, is there like a Disney Springs before you get to that part?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, like a hotel and restaurants and merchandise and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so like you kind of have to walk through the spending money parts before you get to the good dinosaur parts.
I like that. Let's do that.
And then there are probably like, how some zoos just have like peacocks wandering around?
Oh man.
I mean, the St. Louis Zoo does that.
Just copies.
And I wonder if there are any. Yeah, well, I mean, whatever. If there are any such thing as safe dinosaurs to just kind of.
I mean, technically, there is. You can have dinosaur petting zoos in this game. That's right.
Oh, nice.
About that, so.
Yeah, that would be a great thing to have out in the Like Katrina says in chat, Jurassic Springs.
Jurassic Springs, hell yeah.
That's so good.
Dino snacks and good shopping. I agree. All right, whoops. I don't remember if previous games in the series had an undo button, but the fact that this one does is so nice. I thought I flattened this terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking flatten. There we go. Oh no. Uh-oh. And see, there's the undo button. Right as I spoke about it. All right, now maybe I can flatten it. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, I get it. I see. Okay, so this is the raise terrain to flat button that will take the, nope, a little thing and level it out. Okay, let's see if that worked. It's not exactly a flat square of Disney level quality, but okay. More lowering and flattening. Might have to get rid of these rocks too. We'll see. The thing that I think I may end up being paralyzed by the amount of granularity that this game provides. We'll see.
Yeah, that's what I've been worried about, and that's kind of why I bounced off like Planet Coaster and Planet Coaster 2, because it's like, oh, I can position every tiny little rock. It's like I don't.
No.
I'm in danger, girl. But you know, I think it's super cool to let you do that. Also, I was playing Rebel Galaxy Outlaw, which is a great game. But there was this moment where I was. What'd you say?
I said I remember you telling me how great that was.
Yeah, it's really good. And there was this moment where there's a super amazing ship editor where you can just like paint your ship. And it's just like a super high, like you can do anything. Like it's really cool and really well put together and really flexible. But I was working, I was painting my ship and it's like, wait a minute, I get paid to do this. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this in a video game when this is my job?
We always knew that if even if you weren't working for Star Trek Online, you'd just be doing what you do for Star Trek Online for free all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why so much of my like sort of extracurricular projects, I did them on my own time because I was like, well, I want to make spaceships anyway. I might as well make spaceships that I know tens of thousands of people are gonna play with,
Yeah, like the Jaeger class.
Yeah.
Overcome your prejudices, Thomas. Give in to the love. Okay, what the hell? I have flattened this terrain out. How is it too steep? Oh, wrong one. That's paths.
Still looks like there's a little, like, gradation there.
Yeah. But now it makes gradation over there. I don't want that. Maybe if I drag it all the way over, like I'm getting air bubbles out of a sticker.
Yeah, I think that's what you got to do.
Oh, wait. I can make the radius bigger.
Nice, yeah, perfect.
There we go. That's what we wanted, probably. And I think I have to get rid of this water here. Is that water? I don't know. Let's find out. It's
yeah, that's water. Yeah. It is? I thought it was.
It's not. Yeah.
Or it might be like marsh or something.
Maybe. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, it's like a puddle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely water. There's some lily pads in it and stuff. Let's see if I can. Okay, it looks like I can just pave over it. Capitalism!
Hey, paradise, put up a parking lot.
They pay paradise and put up Jurassic Park.
I mean, they did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
The Cinco Muertos.
Trexpert wants the Jaeger and the curry. Thomas, I'm sorry, you have to do it. Trexpert wants it.
Uh,
Objective
I
feels like a
want
pretty formal word, but I think
a lot of
that's
things I
okay.
want Trexpert, and I'm not getting them. So sorry.
Have Carnotaurus and Gigantosaurus engage in a fight to the death. Guys. I'll just take the employment drive one. All right, so now.
Are you not entertained? Oh, hey, Jeremy's in chat. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, what's up, Jeremy? Dinosaurs! Hey, Ramona. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I have to remind myself what the curry class looks like.
Oh,
speaking
God.
Of, speaking of which, I have a controversial statement that I realized the other day. Oh my God, it's an Oberth but worse. I was gonna say
For which?
the curry class.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I was gonna say it's a like it's prettier than the Oberth just as a joke, but my God. So I've been reading the New Frontier Star Trek books, which are
The
excellent.
Peter David ones.
The Peter David ones, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also realized I think they're the inspiration for the Orville. They have the captain, and the captain is his ex is his first officer, and he's like a disgraced Starfleet guy. Their security officer is a rock. Like there's a gender fluid person who's always hitting on the unemotional doctor. It's wild.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Seth MacFarlane. It's
That's
a huge
interesting.
fucking nerd, so.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, like, there's and a lot of times I think those people, like people in Hollywood, before they actually become working writers and actors and producers and stuff, they do read all that shit.
Yeah.
But then they conveniently forget that they read it once they've made it. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I don't even think it's nefarious necessarily, but it's something that just sort of like you get past all that. You get past that in status, I guess is maybe the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't, I'm an executive producer now. I don't read tie-in novels. And
and the answer
but
is
like
yes,
you did when you were you did when you were 16, and that's just kind of like rattled around in your brain for 20 years and 30 years, and now you do something and you don't even realize like how rooted into all that stuff it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when I was a kid. Wow, that is tiny and just looks bad. I need to do some other stuff to this plaza besides just the. Also, it's not symmetrical, and that is going to drive me crazy. But
yeah, I do think you can scale things too.
Yeah, I was able to scale it up a little bit, but only a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're arguing about starships in chat, Thomas. You did this with your prejudice against ugly starships. Although I actually don't think the Jaeger is ugly. First time I ever remember seeing it was on an Eagle Moss model that was just sitting on their booth at STLV, and I just went, "Whoa, that ship's really cool!" And then I found out that everyone despised it.
I think, I mean, what bothers me about the Jaeger is, well, it's a long list, but the at the top of the list is that it uses pieces from, like, it's a kit bash that uses out of scale parts. And so it doesn't, there's no like like it's one thing if you take the Miranda isn't quite a kit bash, but let's call it a kit bash for argument's sake, right? But like you got the saucer and you got the two nacelles, but they're the same size as the saucer on the Constitution. So it's like, okay, I get it that you're taking the same components and you're moving them around for whatever reason, right? But like on the Jaeger, you have all these components that exist in other Star Trek ships, but they're not scaled to the way they are on those other ships, and so it's just it ruins the immersion or believability of it, because it's like they took this piece from this tiny shuttle and they scaled it up to be like 800 feet long. Like that doesn't make any sense. So I would care less that it's ugly if it didn't also, break that kind of feeling of like intent, of design intent. Anyway, like I would do a version of the Jaeger where I would try to. It has the Intrepid, the Voyager saucer, right, and the Voyager nacelles, and so I would try to like design the hull of it to lean more into that styling, to make it feel a bit more intentional and to make those parts work together better, is what I would want to do if I were king of Star Trek.
If you were king of horse. Okay, there is apparently a curved path tool that I'm missing. Where?
Oh, you have to hold down shift when you make a path, and then it
Oh.
changes from being straight to curved, because I was messing around with that the other day.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Doesn't want me to make the circle I want to make. So I don't want it to be lumpy like that. It's probably because I'm trying to make a circle in the middle of another path.
Yes.
And it also
yeah,
isn't showing
absolutely.
up. All right. Oh, wait, I can just paint. I forgot that I can do that. This is not going to work. This is environment painting. Yep. All right.
Can you do? Yeah, yeah. You have to delete those paths. But can you paint like stone like this?
Maybe. That's one way
Or
to find out.
Yeah.
Just clear out the center of this.
Yeah, leave the borders. I think that's smart.
So that we have that to work with. Still not the most symmetrical work. I think an art director for Star Trek Online would send me back to the drawing board. But all right, let's see.
Hey, it's Friday. I'm not here in my job capacity. I was here to hang out with a friend and look at dinosaurs. Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. Oh, yep. I can paint a big circle of rock. That looks like a poo stain, but we're starting. Oh, is EJ single out, Katrina? Hell yeah. I need to check that out. I love that we've spent, how long have we been streaming? We spent the first 40 minutes of the stream on the opening entryway area.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens.
The problem with these games.
Uh-huh.
The best time in your life to play these games is probably when you're like 13.
Yep.
And you're just like, all right, it's 10 a.m. on a Saturday. I'll see you guys at 9:30.
Yep. Just spend all day. Let's see. We could use one of the Vegas
That was also Diablo 2. Was just fucking from like, I don't know, 11 a.m. to 4 a.m. Just Diablo 2.
I never got into Diablo, and I kind of regret it. What we'll do is we'll remove him.
Well, it's funny because I remember actually, like, I was young enough when I played it that it was like scary.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like spooky. And then when I got to college, a bunch of my friends were all super nostalgic for it, wanted to play it together. But I was never like a min-maxer in it. I just sort of played it for the story. And then I sort of got wise to the fact that all of Blizzard's games are just fucking bleak and depressing.
Yep.
And at least in that era, I mean, Overwatch, I guess, is quite different, but they were all just super grimdark. in the Diablo 2, StarCraft 2, fucking Warcraft 3, like like it's just it's just like Jesus,
Yeah.
guys, can't they catch a break? And it was always too where you would beat the game and then they always ended on some sort of ridiculous cliffhanger.
Yep. And then
And
sometimes they
I
would
was
never
just
make the next game.
yeah. And it just was super unsatisfying because I mean, like those games are hard. I don't know, for
Yeah.
me anyway. Like so, like Warcraft 3 and StarCraft and some of those like strategy games, they you had to figure it out, and it was just, and then you go through all that, and then it's like, oh, yep, too bad the Xel'Naga are coming or whatever. Like,
I
God damn it! I just wanted
guys,
to. I just.
I just want him to be happy, guys. Yeah, I never beat Warcraft 3 because there was one level, and I will complain about this level until the day I die, where this is, by the way, now Mr. DNA Springs. Uh, uh,
Nice, perfect.
I what was I gonna say? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, there was one level where you because RTSs for me as a kid were too hard to like beat anyway.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is gonna be a problem. Why is it curving? Don't curve. Don't do it. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, hold down shift or press shift and it'll stop curving again. It should.
Oh wait, I had it. Nope, there we go. There's one level where you had to get through it, and you had to defeat. Sorry, you had to get through a level but not kill any of these druid bears. And the druid bears were attacking you the whole time. And so, in order to, you had to like keep your units from fighting them.
Hmm.
But you like I always played with God mode on because I was really bad at RTSs, and the then your units would kill the druids in one hit. And there was no like invincibility, but also like
Right.
so I ended up not doing that game because
Yeah.
I just then I would turn God mode off and I was suddenly playing the game at like without having ever faced any difficulty before in my life at like level
Right.
17.
Oh, jeez. I'm really curious how the NPCs are going to treat these paths, if they're going to be smart enough to see this as just one big open space, or if they're going to like try to walk
They're
along the
probably gonna
lines of the
freak
path.
the fuck out, and it's gonna be really amusing to watch. I'm halfway tempted to start just letting them in now, but that would be a bad idea. All right, so we're gonna put a large hotel. Actually, we're gonna put the large hotel over
Nice.
here on the water. Oh my god, I have to remove the water first. That makes sense.
One of the ambitions that Katrina and I have at some point is to go stay at the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
I have done that before, and it is exactly as cool as you imagine. Like, just
Nice.
literally just wake up and, oh, there's a giraffe outside my window.
That's so cool. I've eaten dinner there. I went to Disney with my friend Kelly in 2020, actually. It's the very first time I'd been to any Disney park. Was March 2020. Which was probably the best time I could have gone. I didn't get sick or anything. But also, right before everything locked down. So
Yeah.
like literally right before, like I don't know if you remember, but I came back and they told me I had to work from home
Oh, yeah.
before the whole studio set like was told to work from home.
And then
So,
everybody had to, like
yeah.
a week or two later.
Right, yeah, it was really funny and terrifying. But anyway, yeah, we had dinner at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and it was really tasty and really really cool.
Yeah. I think.
What is that, like a
brunch
big
there.
water pen?
Well, it was gonna be a lagoon, but I guess you have to build a lagoon on solid ground, and then. But yeah, I kind of want the hotel to be like overlooking just like an
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom hotel. I try to build hotels in this game basically inside enclosures as much as I can because it's
Yeah,
just such a
absolutely.
cool thing. Okay, thank you. I was like, what is your problem?
I don't remember if they if you could do this in the second one. I think you probably could, and I just forgot. But in this one, you could definitely ride the rides,
Yeah,
um,
which is so dope.
which was, yeah. I mean, then that was like the thing I loved about. So for a little history of these games, the Evolution series was not the first time that you could build your own Jurassic Park, right? That
Right.
was Operation Genesis, which was in the, I don't know the exact year, but it was like the early aughts, I think, or something like that. It's a, it's a really good game, and you could do that where you had balloon rides and jeep rides and stuff, and you could actually and little like viewing stands, and you could like look at the POV of those rides and see the dinosaurs for yourself, and it was really neat. Um, and so I feel like maybe the first game of this series you couldn't do that, but I could be misremembering. I remember there being something about the first Evolution that I felt was kind of lacking,
Yeah.
but the second one was really cool. It might have been the just kind of the we're just ejecting uh, bales of hay for the herbivores to eat. Uh, but
Oh, that's I remember that.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but the last two, so in the second one and this third one, the how they handle the needs for the Mike and I were talking about this, like how they handle the needs for the dinosaurs is super cool, because you actually have to create like a varied environment that's like, well, these herbivores eat nuts and these herbivores eat shrubs and greenery and stuff, and all of that, like you need all of that in their habitat for them to be healthy. So
Yeah.
I thought that I just felt like that was handled super well.
Yeah, yeah, it's super cool. Jeremy, you actually there was no there's never been actual rides in this game. It's just building a dinosaur zoo. So you didn't actually miss out on anything. Don't
Yeah, I mean they have like I think they added balloons in this one, but it's not
but that's a like for observing the dinosaurs.
yeah, you don't build any tracked rides like Roller Coaster Tycoon or anything. It's
Yeah.
you place rides. There are rides you can place, but it's not like you're spending a lot of time as putting loop de loops and stuff like that on a roller coaster.
Yeah. Okay, that's as big as I can make that sign, so that's not going to be. I want a
Oh,
Mr.
you
PAA
can ride
sign.
along the Jeeps. You can do that, Jeremy, but it's not like you don't. You can. I think you might be able. So like there are the Ranger Jeeps, and I think there might also be like Jeep rides that you can
You can
set.
also
And I
do
think maybe,
the orb rides and
yeah,
the Hay Hunter. There's another one. The track rides in the Jeeps too.
hmm like you can do all that, but I don't. I think it's a lot more simple than making a roller coaster in like Planet Coaster or Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
What's in the workshop for amenities? I bet there's some cool
Oh,
stuff.
there's a ton of cool stuff. Somebody made a McDonald's. I saw that yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Let's see.
Time to Golden Arches.
Do...
Is this? I should have asked. Is this a cursing? No cursing?
oh,
What's the
it's
policy on that?
a cursing friendly stream.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Let's sort these by rating.
Although now that I see my mom every few days, I'm trying to dial that back.
It's too fucking late, Thomas. Ooh, okay, we got a lot of cool restaurants. A lot of McDonald's now. The one McDonald's I saw yesterday was
Oh, nice.
has been replaced, and of course there's a Waffle House in case we want to have fights on the park. But I like this Peter's Bar and Grill. Is that a reference to anything, or is
Cool.
that just a cool design?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I hope somebody makes is that what was that from the new Mystery Science Theater? They had that dinosaur restaurant.
Oh.
Landed 9 in the land before time. Moon 13. Look it up.
I
It's
know
good stuff
for
though.
a fact that weird, weird like angle cliff thing is driving Katrina crazy in chat, and I promise it is driving me crazy in chat too. What? How does this? Okay, do I have to start over here? No, and I don't want to do that. That made it worse.
Mesozoic Ranch Dinosaur BBQ.
Nice.
That's the Moon 14 restaurant.
I...
Jeremy, so yeah, when Planet Coaster 2 came out, it definitely did get mixed reviews, but the reviews lately have been really good. I think they've done a lot of patches on it. But this game actually had a good launch from what everything
Yeah,
I've seen.
but
Like everybody's really liking it.
I had a couple of problems on day one, but nothing major. Just a little bit of lagging. I think because you had to connect to the internet to build things.
Yeah,
But that's all set now.
yeah. And this is the same developer, right? Frontier?
Yep.
Didn't they do the...
I also would recommend if you want to do a theme park builder, Parkitect is great.
Nice.
Let's see what we got in shopping amenities.
Parkitect, so I mean, like, it's tricky because I think
Guys, we could have a
sometimes...
fucking Walmart. We're not gonna do it, but we could.
The one thing
That's
about
hilarious.
Parkitect, I think that wasn't for me, for whatever. I'm very Goldilocks when it comes to game art.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll admit that. Like I have like, for certain genres, I have like a window of like this, I want to spend time looking at this kind of game.
Yeah.
And Parkitect, the art wasn't, I wasn't wild about it. Compared to what Frontier does.
Yeah.
And it's not that Frontier games are super, I guess the Jurassic Park games are super realistic. The Planet Coaster, they're a lot more cartoony. They're more like Roller Coaster Tycoon was. But they still, like, the tracks and the buildings and stuff are still pretty realistic. And I like that for park builder sim type games. Just for whatever reason, it just helps me get into it a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, I am generally not much of a liking a game or not based on graphics person, but sometimes when there's like something that's too far into the uncanny valley, then I get a little turned off by it. There we go. This is just a square. This is not the beautiful shopping area that they have at like Disney Springs. I need to actually, I wonder if I can make some like garden paths with the scenery to make like it a little bit prettier than just a big open square.
There's foliage.
Yeah. Biome dynamic foliage, bush, climbers, flowers, trees.
I wonder if you go up and search for like planter or something, if that they might have. And it might not be in this.
Oh, yep.
Oh no, there's one.
Yep.
Nice.
There's a bunch of planters. I think
there's one set for stun.
I was thinking the other day about how stun mode was created in like episode 4 for Star Wars and then never used again until it very suddenly was in Bad Batch. But like, and it of course is used in all the like tie-in media and stuff, but like I think in Star Wars movies, like never again.
That's really fun. Didn't they use it in Mandalorian too?
Maybe. I mean, that's now because now we're into the era where it's only nerds making the stuff.
Right.
So.
But there's also just like too much of it to keep straight.
Uh-huh.
So it's like could have been in Mandalorian. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Like so much of the tie-in stuff and franchise stuff. I enjoy it, but I also only ever feel compelled to watch it once.
Yep. I think that's fair.
And yeah.
I watched Force
Awakens. I could probably watch Skeleton
times.
Crew again. I actually really liked Skeleton Crew and it was a lot of fun.
Skeleton Crew was a lot of fun. Thomas said a bad word. Put $1 in the jar. It's gonna be a very small jar. Okay. Now, will you flatten? Will you flatten for me, buddy? And not like dip into the earth for no apparent reason? Okay, that's pretty good. We're gonna call that pretty good. We're gonna leave it and we're gonna call it pretty good.
Yeah.
Back to planters. Duplicate.
I think with a lot of modern Star Wars, there are like scenes and specific things that I want to watch over and over again.
Yes.
Like in Ahsoka, like when she sees Anakin in the Force, right? Like,
yeah, that stuff was awesome.
And he's like, when he's switching back and forth, right, from light side to dark side and everything, it's fucking good. It's so
fucking good. It's also exactly what happens in the fanfic that I wrote like 3 years before that came out. Everyone go read the Trials of Ben Solo. It's really good. I promise. I'm a good writer.
Can you send it to me? I want to check it out.
Oh yeah, sure. I posted it on Blue Sky the other day when all of the stuff about the Steven Soderbergh Ben Solo movie was coming out. Everybody was mad. And I was like, yeah, for once I agree with Star Wars fandom being mad. I also, the one that I've gone back and watched a couple of times is Kelleran Beck showing up in, it was Mandalorian in that flashback sequence. Ahmed Best's Jedi character.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
That was awesome. Okay, is there like, you've got individual flowers, but what about?
And I would probably have a lot of fun going back and watching like the first season of Mando. The first season
of Mando was really, really good. I've enjoyed it, even as I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's sort of fallen off. But I've had fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have too. I shouldn't. I definitely enjoy it, but I think that there was something about it then where, like, I really enjoyed how low the stakes actually were.
Yes, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like, it was like just this guy, and it was great because like I was super skeptical about the show when I saw, they're doing the Mandalorian, but it's not Boba Fett. Okay, well, why are we doing Diet Boba Fett, right? And then right, I mean that's what it's like Temu Boba Fett. Okay, what's going on here? Like, you guys have the real Boba Fett. You could do a show about him, which they later did.
Yeah.
But and I actually liked more than most people, but
I liked it a lot too.
Yeah, I love the trope of the mook becoming self-aware.
Yes.
You know, of like it's like shit. Like I've constantly risked my life for these assholes who don't care if I live or die. Like there's a better way, right? There's gotta be a better way. And I was like, that's a great thing to do with that character. Frankly, I thought it was a great thing to do with that character.
Yeah.
And I think that you know, I'm certainly not immune to like the well, it was like this, so it should keep being like this syndrome. At least in Star Trek.
I was talking indirectly about you the other day because we were talking about something that happened that was, you know, I was like, you know, people will be mad at that because it's, you know, it wouldn't fit in the starship in real life.
Mm-hmm. But I also do think that there are, you can make those kinds of changes if you do the work to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I felt like they had with Boba Fett. Like, I felt like they had
they spent a lot of
especially
time like reestablishing his backstory and stuff in that series, and I really enjoyed that. I was kind of sad when all of the you know, Tuskens were then killed to give him motivation. I was like, oh, okay, we sort of missed the point a little bit, but
anyway, I think we were talking about the early seasons of Mando. Oh yeah, and so I expected it's like, oh, he's gonna be a Mandalorian bounty hunter. Great, we've never seen one of those before. And he was, but like when they showed that he was doing it, that he wasn't selfish, like it wasn't selfishly motivated, right? That he was doing it for his community, which is not something I expected. And that he was actually like religious, you know, and like
Yeah.
he was a part of something bigger than himself. Like that totally won me over, because that's like, okay, that is a different character than Boba Fett. Like that has something else to say about this kind of life and this kind of person.
Yeah.
And so I was totally, when he goes to the armor and they go through all that stuff, and you learn a bit more about, you know, at least this take on the Mandalorians as a society, I was like, okay, I'm totally down to see where this goes. And then obviously Baby Yoda, you know, throws a whole wrench and everything too, which
Yeah.
was super cool. Um, but yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was fun. It was fun to like live on the corner, you know, in that edge of the Star Wars universe, um,
That's one of the things I really
and
liked
not know
about
what to expect.
that's one of the things I really liked about Lower Decks too. Like eventually they went, you know, bigger and, you know, higher stakes and stuff, but uh it was just really nice to have like that world of uh you know, like it's just people going about their regular jobs, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, absolutely. Um, it's it's like that question, like, which would you rather live in, Star Wars or Star Trek?
And we're
It's like, my
living in
God,
Star
such
Wars. We already
yeah,
are.
yeah. um and Katrina made a point in chat that was good. It was like, I thought it was so funny that people got angry about Boba being silly or not mean enough. It just told me that they hadn't watched Clone Wars, right?
Yes.
Like there's yeah.
Uh, yeah, I miss getting to play in your top tier Star Wars games, Jeremy. They were very fun.
Yeah, same. It's I mean, the edge system is very fun. Jeremy's a great, fantastic DM. I've the best place, if you like tabletop gaming, the best place to work is at a game company, because you're working like you
You're
get to play
literally,
D&D with professional game designers.
yep, it's great. And then you get to try and run a campaign for yourself and realize you are not a professional game designer. I should zoom
I
in.
enjoyed watching the game you ran for Katrina's stream. I thought
Oh
I thought you
man,
did a good
I'm
job
so
there.
mad that I didn't follow up on that. I really wanted like that was a great cast, and we started talking about like maybe we'll do more of it, and we were gonna do it on Katrina's
Hmm.
channel, and then my ADHD kicked in, and I never really followed up enough to make it
Hmm.
happen. But that was such a cool game.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I got uh the Fabula Ultima book
Oh, I want to
recently,
play that so
and
bad.
yeah, I'm coveting the idea of playing that. Which, for people who don't know, it's a TTRPG inspired by JRPGs. Um, and so it's got a lot of tropes. I haven't really dived into the mechanics yet, but the idea is that when you play it, it's supposed to feel like you're playing, you know, Final Fantasy Tactics or Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VI, um, and just kind of cater to that kind of adventure, where it's like, oh yeah, today we're having the town festival, and then tomorrow we're gonna go kill God. Um,
Yes, exactly. I made a uh I made a character concept for a game that didn't end up happening, but that was just such a cool a concept that I've still loved to this day. Because what you do in Fabula Ultima is you create, um, you're correct, Katrina. Yes, we should all just do whatever Leia would do. In fact, I kind of
yes,
wish that
absolutely.
she would just come and tell us what to do all the time. But anyway, they I was gonna say something cool. Oh, so you combine two different classes in order to get your character. So like you have to pick a character from each class, or you have to pick two different classes and then go from there. And there's the two classes I picked were a character named or the there's a paladin type person, and then there's a like talking scholar, like sort of like the face type person. And
Nice.
I combined the two of them so that I could be a defense lawyer.
Objection.
Yeah. They even suggested one of the things you could do in the game is carry like 2 shields, and I was like, yeah, that's perfect. I am only defense. There it is.
That's awesome. Yeah, I want to play Fabula Ultima. I also really want to play Draw Steel.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, it looks really good. It looks like the combat is supposed to be really good. There's something else that I was like looking at, kind of, I forget what it was,
I
but
bought
oh well, there.
Daggerheart
Oh, go ahead.
yesterday, which I'm excited
Oh,
to do. I
nice.
played it once, and it was
What's
fun.
what's the gimmick for that? Like,
Um,
what makes it different
the
from
gimmick
D&D?
the gimmick is it's very interesting because it's very clearly a game. This looks ugly. It's very clearly a game that's designed to be, you know, for people who've played D&D before but are scared to try new systems, because like so much of it is like taken directly from D&D, but then underneath the D&D is hiding these really cool like uh these really cool like not so crunchy features. But the big one is that every check you roll 2d10, and one is hope and one is fear, and so it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
the it's kind of like the uh Edge of the Empire mechanic, in that like you can succeed, but you can succeed with fear, and then you and the DM figure out what sort of bad thing happens
Nice.
even though you
Yeah.
succeed, or you can fail but fail with hope, etc., etc.
Yeah. Uh, Jeremy said in chat that he wants to run a Ghostbusters game, and yeah, I would love that. That'd be so much fun. Paul ran. There is an old Ghostbusters system that was actually, I think, the first TTRPG to have target numbers. So it has a weird like place in gaming history where um, it was the first time that you needed to hit a number with dice to succeed at something. It's like a 2d6 game, I think, anyway. But anyway, yeah, like a Ghostbusters game would be fun. I've thought about like even trying to run one at some point. There's a 5e supplement that just came out called The Crooked Moon, which is all about folk horror, and has like a lot of good, like, Slender Man and shit like that in
Oh,
it,
nice.
Um, uh, and it's got its own world and stuff too. But I feel like you could easily take that stuff in the Crooked Moon and adapt it to go, use them for ghosts and Ghostbusters, because it's just a lot of scary, like folklore monsters and stuff,
That's
which is
fun.
exactly the kind of stuff that you use for, for Ghostbuster campaign. Um,
Yeah, my friend.
but yeah, I remember Jesse and Chris and I don't know, Jeremy, if you were there when we were doing it or talking about it. We were also talking about like a Genesis adaptation for Ghostbusters, and like we had different like classes and stuff, right? So you have the like the cynic, Venkman class, and you have the Ray, like true believer scientist, and you have the Egon, the gearhead engineer, and then you would also add some new archetypes. Well, they had her in the Extreme Ghostbusters, kind of the witchy,
Oh yeah.
like goth, right? Like that would also be a character class of somebody who's more like into the occult, but uses that to help bust ghosts. I think there's a lot of there's just a lot, like I feel like that setting could be super rich, um, uh, and give you a lot of really cool character options. Um, for our anniversary, Katrina wrote a little fanfic of
Oh.
she and I, as I'm a Ghostbuster and she's a witch, and we have to team up to bust some ghosts, and it was really cool.
Hey, Katrina. Is it the witch I think it is? This is not work. Well, that's kind of cool. All right.
Yeah,
We've
that's
got a
kind of
nice
neat.
seating area. I spent way too long on it, but that's fine. That's what we're doing today, apparently.
It's like real construction.
Yeah.
It takes way longer than it should.
Oh, I accidentally put 2 T-Rex fountains in somehow. Oh no. That's okay. Now there's only one T-Rex with the 2 fountains on top of each other. That's fine. I can see a lot of the double up if I get too close, but they're all broken into individual parts now, so oh well, maybe I can. Damn it, perfectionism! Why are you making me do this? Okay, that's pretty good. This needs to go. And this bench. And this trash can. There's double of everything! Oh, there's a new Stay Puft Marshmallow Man statue that Fragrance is trying to show you.
Oh, nice. I didn't see that. Holy crap, that's wild.
Oh, now I gotta look at it. Let's just pull it up.
So this stuff is it's only $1,600.
Only.
This stuff it's always stuff that's like, all right, well, if I ever get that 6,000 square foot house and need a Ghostbusters room, right, then I'll buy shit like this.
Yep. I'm always.
But it is
buying
super
that kind of
cool.
stuff. But yeah, that's the look at the size of him. Sideshow always does crazy stuff. Like I see their booths at conventions and just go, well. Oh, and you can buy $800 Ghostbuster statues that are in the same scale, so that you can make them fighting Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Well, what if they're in the same scale? They'd be tiny. Why are they?
Oh, maybe they're not the same scale then. I just assumed
Okay.
it said companion pieces.
They shouldn't be $800. Even if they're Sideshow, they shouldn't be $800 if they're in the scale.
Okay. All right. I fixed the fountain. Okay, I'm not super stoked about this Disney Springs like area, but I also am going to recognize my own limitations and add a drink and a bathroom, and then we're going to move on to actual dinosaurs here.
Yeah, I mean it's all a work in progress, right?
Yeah.
You have the V1 of the park, and then you know a few years from now you do your JP23 convention where you announce that you're tearing it all up and replacing it with something that nobody asked for.
Or everybody asked for, depending.
Right, yeah.
Oh, we're tearing down this thing. Boo. To make Galaxy's Edge. Yay!
Yay!
We're tearing this thing down. Boo. To make Avatar. Boo! And I like those movies. Yeah, those movies.
I request a satanic funeral. Boo. Sorry, that's a Futurama reference.
Okay, I can't put it there. I want to, but I can't. It's gone.
See you later, Fragrance. Thanks for coming
see you,
by.
Fragrance. Thanks for stopping. Good to see you. Thanks for modding while you were here. Okay, cool. Now for the important thing. As mentioned, I need to create more seating areas in here, but I do want to move on to dinosaurs, as much as my brain is like, not done! Finish!
I'm kind of thinking, like, what would I... If Jurassic Park was real, right, and you could go...
Yeah.
What's the souvenir that you'd want to buy? Like, what would you want to bring home from Jurassic Park?
If there were...
Now, keep in mind, like, you could still buy a stuffed T-Rex from anywhere, right?
Right.
Like,
it'd have to be something from
so,
the park.
Right.
That's a good question.
I think probably like that they probably would sell little maquettes of the T-Rex skeleton, when dinosaurs ruled the earth, like that would probably be a cool thing to get. I bet since it was the 90s, they had a shit ton of those Magic Eye posters, but they're all dinosaurs.
God, yeah. Dinosaur Magic Eyes for sure.
I never could see those. They never worked for me.
I can't see them the way you're supposed to, but I can cross my eyes and make the patterns meet, and that makes them display in reverse. So the parts that are supposed to be 3D appear like further away from me, and the rest of it appears 3D.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think Jeremy has the right of it, where it's like they would probably sell actual fossils, right? Like they'd sell like amber mosquitoes and preserved dino feather, like stuff like that. I'm sure they would have, but those would be the premium, like, oh, this costs $800, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, but that would be the, you know, the like I'm only gonna do this once in my life, there or the equivalent of like the Savi's lightsaber
Yes,
kind of
exactly.
thing.
I'm only gonna do this
Um,
4 or 5 times in my life.
right.
I mean, I got to assume that there's, you know, like raptor claws. Like, you know, they sell fake fossil raptor claws at the
Yeah.
Universal in Florida. I got to imagine there's like you know, you can get like gigantic or real raptor claws at a real Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I don't think they shed them, so maybe it would have to be from like fossil digs. Again, super expensive.
But you know what? Another thing that they absolutely would probably sell is like eggshells, right?
Yeah.
Like those after a dinosaur hatches, they probably collect the
Oh
eggshells and maybe
yeah.
have a little
Like
display for them or something.
put them in resin.
Yeah, yeah.
Where is the gate? This
But yeah, Jeremy makes the point in the chat of like after you move a few times, you sort of realize that all the like kitschy stuff you really don't want to you don't want to drag it with you your whole life, but there's probably something super nice that would mean a lot
Yeah.
that you'd want to.
I also have not yet realized that. I'm not sure I ever will.
Our recent move was so fast that we kind of just packed. We never had time to do a call, you know.
Yeah.
I did a call when Katrina moved in with me in Los Gatos. I did a call, and then and I think she did a call when she moved up from LA to San Jose. But like when we moved out here, it was really we did it all in basically a month, and so we didn't really have
Wild.
time to do. We did get rid of some stuff, but we didn't have time to like, do I want to keep this? Do I want to try to sell it on Facebook? Like just no, we just packed up everything. So, but now the danger is we have a lot more space. So the impetus to call is less slooming than it was before.
Okay. The classic gateway was under columns, I see. We're gonna have
Okay,
to put our own
interesting.
sign
But
on it, but
that's one Lego set I regret not getting. Is they have a Lego set of these gates with a big T-Rex, and it's really really cool.
oh, that's awesome.
And I didn't get it when it was out. I'm sure it's been discontinued for a long time.
Well, I'm sure you can get it on like eBay for like $10 billion.
Oh yeah, man. I have the Ghostbusters Firehouse set that I think when it was out, when it was new, it was like 375 or something,
Oh my god.
and now it's like 1100. It's like, yeah, it's nuts. And I still haven't opened it, and like I want to build it, like I want to build and display it, but I'm also like, this fucker is $1,100. Like,
Yeah.
uh, um,
Don't curve. Don't curve. I don't want you to curve. No, don't curve. Okay, fine, curve. What
that's
is
so good.
happening? I've confused the game too much with my weird.
All right, it's on Amazon for 430.
It's
I
weird
think
how
that's in
that's
the
not even
ballpark of
that
what it
weird
was.
for Lego anymore.
Yeah,
Like I did,
it's a big set though.
yeah. Like I was lamenting on Facebook the other day about how expensive tickets to this show on Broadway were, and in my
Mhm.
brain I was like, "Oh, this is ridiculous," and everybody else was like, "Actually, that's pretty cheap for Broadway," and I was like, "Ah,
Yeah,
everything has changed."
right. Yeah, I put it in a link to it in chat for people, the Jurassic Park gate set. But I don't know, it was really cool. It's got a giant T-Rex to it, and it's like the T-Rex is minifig scale, so it's huge.
Nice.
And then you have all the the main character minifigs. Even Samuel L. Jackson.
That's great.
Uh, God, what was his name? I forget his character's name.
I don't.
I think they only said it once or twice in the movie.
Yeah, his character's name was Hold On to Your Butts.
It's funny they don't have a version of that gate with that built in. You'd think there would
Right?
be.
I think it's because it's so deep into customization. The ones I found online were all like
Is there not one in like the gate? Isn't there a gate section?
no, there's a doors section, but not a gates section.
Interesting.
Looking for torches.
But I wonder in
now.
the yeah. Well, whatever. That's cool though. That's as long as you can do it, right?
Yeah,
That's the
as long as
important
we
thing.
can
You
do
need to be
it.
able to do it. Yeah.
Okay, but I do need the giant torches, guys. Where are the giant torches?
They'd be probably wall lights, wouldn't they? Because they're kind of sconces essentially.
Yeah, there's a lot of like modern looking wall lights here, but I don't see the giant torches.
There it is. Torch 1.
Where?
Up. The triangle thing.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Oh, because I got that. Oh. Oh, it put it. Okay, I see.
Yeah, I think you just gotta move it
There it is.
out a bit. There we go. Yeah.
I gotta. The one problem with doing
Who
anything
they got in
3D
there?
space...
King Kong.
The one thing problem with trying to do anything in 3D space, as you well know, is just that it's like, oh, I got it perfectly lined up, and then you look at it from a slightly different angle, and you're like, no, I didn't.
Right. Yeah. That's why Mo would always have his thing set up to show like 4 different angles at a time.
Oh, that's smart.
And I'm too smooth brain for that. But like, yeah, it's really smart because he would have like a top, side, you know, front, and then the perspective view. And I could never, I wanted to work that way, but I could never keep it straight. Like I would find myself just like focusing on one little quarter of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, well, if I'm just going to focus in on one view, I'll just have one view up and then switch.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did the gate have 4 torches or 2? I thought it had 2, but I could be crazy.
I don't remember. Well, let's look at the Lego set.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have the Lego set.
So it has it actually has 8.
8?
Because it has 3 on the front and then 2 on the top.
Okay, well, that's good to know. How does it have 3?
According to the Lego set. They're like offset, so they're not in a straight line. They're like.
I'm gonna go look on this Lego set. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, so okay, that makes sense. All right, we can recreate that. You come down here. Again, the fact that there isn't one of these, at least that I could find, there is. It's entirely possible that there is, and I didn't see it somehow. But okay, place, great, duplicate, place. Here, come out here, go back a little bit. This way.
It'll be interesting when or if that Jurassic Park survival game ever comes out.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've told your viewers, but I'll say it. If but like Cryptic was actually working on that game a very, very long ass time ago.
Is it
a
still
version
the same?
of it anyway.
Is it still the same game, or does it have like the same?
I'm sure it isn't. I'm sure it isn't. But like, so Cryptic. So way back in, when was this, Mike? Was this before you were there,
before I was there,
or
yeah.
were you there? But
it was, okay. Because I was there when I was there. Magic had been being worked on for like 2 or 3 years already.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was probably, I feel like it was like kind of right after Neverwinter console launch and made us a boatload of money. Like when Neverwinter came out on PS4, that was probably the best the studio ever did financially. Like it was a phenomenal success for us. and so we started I think this is when that happened. We decided to start a studio in Seattle to kind of capitalize on Seattle, like all the game talent up there, um, and that we called that Cryptic North. And they eventually, and this was after Perfect World bought us, so we were part of Perfect World. But Jack was still our CEO.
Jack being Statesman,
And
for those of you who know from the City of Heroes days.
right, yeah. Jack Emmert. And so we had Cryptic North, and they were gonna work on a Jurassic. They got the rights for a Jurassic Park game, and it was gonna be a Jurassic Park survival game. And this was actually a different studio. What was it? Jeremy might remember the name of the studio that this was before we bought them and rechristened it Cryptic North. But I don't remember the name of it.
Because Cryptic North was also in charge of Champions for a while, right?
Yeah. Flying Labs. Okay, yeah. So Flying Labs was running Champions for us, and then I guess we decided to just kind of buy them, lock, stock, and barrel, rename them Cryptic North, and then they were going to work on this Jurassic Park game. And it looked, I mean, we would see updates from it every now and then, and it was described as a Jurassic Park survival game, and it was an Unreal game. But I mean, this would have been Unreal 3.5 or Unreal 4. Like this was way, way before Unreal 5.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know
Nice.
Pirates of the Burning Sea. I didn't know there were any other companies at all who used the Cryptic engine. Did we license it out to them? I
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah, I forgot about that, but that Pirates of the Burning Sea was made on the Cryptic engine. That would have been a version of yeah.
For the info of anyone who's watching and cares, I have created a blueprint of the gate, so we will hopefully never have to do that again.
Nice. Smart. Yeah, it's interesting, Jeremy. Yeah, and there were so many people at, Prime, Cryptic Prime, or whatever you want to call it in Los Gatos, that did not want to work on the Cryptic. We had so many artists who were dying to work on a real project.
Oh yeah.
To the point where when they announced that Cryptic North was working on Jurassic Park, a lot of people asked like, "Well, can I transfer up there?"
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to make games in the Cryptic engine. They wanted to work on a more modern engine.
Yeah.
And the answer was, I guess we'll see, except that before too long, it was clear that Jurassic Park game wasn't going anywhere, and the Cryptic North shut down, and yeah, and then I think D'Angelo became CEO sometime around that time. We had some layoffs related to Perfect World, and I think part of it was that we just hadn't. Oh, I think that might have been when they canceled Leviathan. We had a bunch
which was
of
the mech game that Cryptic was working on. Right?
Yeah, and that was the mech game, which never. I mean, who the hell knows if any of this is public knowledge, but it is now.
I was wondering.
Yeah,
the same
so
thing,
before we worked on Magic Legends, one of the games that Cryptic was working on was a mech game called Leviathan, and that thing went through a lot of different iterations before it got canceled. And
I found some video of one of the iterations on a drive once, and it was really cool. But also, like, I understand that's not, it didn't necessarily work out. It wasn't exactly necessarily what we wanted.
Yeah, it was well. So the part of the problem was that the situation is like, oh, Cryptic needs to make a new game. Okay, well, some people like mechs. Let's make a mech game. But it wasn't that someone had a vision for, like this is this is a really cool mech MMO idea I have.
Which is
Because
we're
like
gonna make a
the
mech game,
demos, yeah, the demos for Leviathan that I played anyway, and Jeremy also played them, were very just like, okay, you're shooting bullets at a guy. That is a video game, but there's nothing. There was no real, like, you never really had to make any decisions. You never, it never really felt like there was a gimmick to it that hooked you. And
We were-
and it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say when we were in the process of making the or of pitching the next game to make, I was really hoping I could convince somebody to adapt Lancer, because A, you don't have to pay for the rights of it. Somebody's been making a game of that for years, and the creators are very clear, like, people can just make stuff. Although I think Cryptic would probably have to pay the rights for it. But, let's see. Deathray 2142. I don't know how baby dinos age up. I haven't encountered that yet. But I think you can keep them as babies forever. But anyway, Lancer is just such a unique and interesting world and mech design. It would have really stood out, but I never actually pitched anyone on it. I just sort of had a dream. Ramona, see, not everyone is as forward-thinking and intelligent as I
am. Yeah, like Jeremy has it right in chat. There was nothing about it that felt like this deserved to be its own game. It looks good. It did look good, but that was kind of it. And even like we don't have bullets, or we didn't have bullets in
Trexpert,
in the Cryptic engine.
Trexpert, I love you to death. That is the silliest question, my dude. Sometimes I'm just saying this. Sometimes our STO fans desperately want to connect anything into STO, and it's like, no, that's not how game development works, man. Anyway, sorry, please continue.
Yeah, no, it's fine. God, what was I? No, I don't even remember.
You were talking about it being more of a tech demo than a game.
Well, there wasn't it looked good, and bullets, right? So if you're gonna make a third person shooter, right, you should have your game should have bullets that track along, that raycast and hit things, and to feel like, oh, I can dodge, or I can I can set up my shots, or I can enemies can get in the way, and it's important for an action game, a shooter, to have like actual physical projectiles.
Yeah.
But we didn't have that. Yeah, it did get added eventually, but I don't know why. I think they finally had to do it for Magic. Ironically enough. Isn't that what we call simple projectiles?
Projectile tech. We don't use it in STO, but Magic made a lot of use of it. It's pretty robust stuff. We could probably make a bullet hell in Cryptic Engine now. Well, shit, we should have just made Vampire Survivors before they made Vampire Survivors. Right. Why didn't we think of that?
Yeah, but it's just funny the conversations and the priorities that happen on projects like that. Like, the people who are making those decisions, sometimes it feels like they're really disconnected from the product they're making in terms of like understanding what is important, right? Like Dan, like the I should probably not spill too much tea here, but there was a real big concern about how do we monetize this, which I understand, like that is important. But you kind of have to make sure that people want to spend money first, right? Before you plan how they're going to spend money. You need to offer a compelling loop that is repeatable and interesting and novel, right? Because I mean, it was going to be a free to play game. So I mean, my God, like if you're going to make a free to play game, you really have to make it fun.
The gameplay loop has to be
put the shit down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you have to either have an
Um,
immaculate gameplay loop or, the Star Trek IP.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it's like that's a it's a good joke, but it is also true in the sense of we kind of got really lucky. We kind of stumbled into doing it the right way with Champions and Stowe because we had giant audiences already that were invested in the game and wanted to keep playing. And so when we went free to play, we knew at least some people would still be there, right? Like we knew that
Yeah.
like even if we didn't get a lot more people, which we did end up getting a lot more people in both games, honestly, the Champions free to play launch was pretty successful at the time, from what I remember. But I don't know how much retention there was, and that's the other problem, right? You can get a lot of people to check out your free to play game, but whether or not they stay is a function of how good the game is.
Yeah.
But for Stowe at least, we had an invested audience, but we also had a really killer IP that made sure that people were uh, would check it out because they wanted to see what the IP, what the game was like.
Yeah.
Um, and the Neverwinter, that launched as free to play, and that had really fun, compelling action to it.
Yep.
Like it was the moment to moment of Neverwinter it was really nicely designed at launch. I haven't played it in a very long time, so
I
I don't know
started
how
playing
it's
it when
changed
I
really, but
was the community manager, and I liked it a lot.
yeah, it's interesting because I think early there's something about like well-designed MMOs where the lower levels are in some ways more fun
Yeah.
than the end game. And I think that's true of Stowe Space Combat actually. Like when you actually have to worry about your shield facing and you just have like I've just got these two phasers and this torpedo, and so they all matter, right? And it matters what my orientation is and what the enemy's orientation is, and all of that is like you're making so many more choices than you do once you get all the cool gear. And so
Yeah.
like the end game becomes a different. I'm not saying the end game isn't fun in Stowe. I think it's just a very different kind of fun. Whereas like early Stowe is Space Combat is actually really tactical, and like you have to like pay attention to what's going on and make choices and do things within a certain window of time, right? And that's not really how it plays at endgame.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
I totally agree. I think it's it's fun because like I miss, for example, doing come on brain, keep going. I miss doing like fire all the blasters until their shields go down and then fire torpedoes, but that's not been
Right.
the meta for some time. That's not the players don't do that. They either run torpedoes or they run blasters, and that not blasters, phasers.
Right. Yeah. It's really fun. Like it's really fun waiting for that window, right? And then
Yeah.
seeing the torpedo fly through the shields, and you get that moment of
A ton of damage and
yeah, that's really cool. So we're making a little garden wall.
yeah, this is a path to where I just put all the operations buildings, so I'm
Okay.
walling it off.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's one thing, like, I don't know, I haven't played too much of this game yet, but it's kind of a sin of the first two games, and I kind of assume that they do it in this one too, where they have buildings that are basically only serve a single function.
Yeah.
And
That doesn't
I'm
make
kind of
any
like,
sense at all.
well, it's just sort of like in terms of game design, like why, like, if you have to build it and it only does one thing,
Yeah.
like why is this part of the whole thing, right? Like it just you're not making a choice.
Yeah.
I guess the only choice you're making is where to put it. But
Right.
anyway,
And I think that's kind of the idea, is like it's
yeah,
where to put it, but that's not the most fun. It reminds me a lot of more of RTSs than it does of like
right, yeah,
like a not a 4X, like a simulator game in that way. All right, if I keep going like this wall is going to become completely skewed. So we're going to make it a little janky. Yeah! Can do that. Okay, being able to put all of these together after I constructed it the first time is very nice. Making it into one object that I can just place over and over. I know
Yeah,
that's
that's
kind
really
of
cool.
basic game design, but I like it a lot. Oop.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you like. I am sure they spent weeks on that, right? Like on getting
yeah.
that to work. It's
100%.
one of those things where the easier it is for the user, the harder it was for the developer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that we've got an ugly and not well put together wall, I can group all of it, all of it, all of it. There we go. Confirm, and then I can duplicate that. Rotate.
Nice.
Yeah. Nope, I need to grab all this. Okay, cool. Confirm. Advanced move. Rotate. Oh, okay. Yeah, that looks bad.
Yep.
That looks real bad. And I think I can fix it. I mean, the wall is not a straight line. If I rotate it, will it be better? Yeah.
I mean,
slightly.
there's some room for organic. Like a little bit of variation isn't bad.
Yeah. It's all going to be the same variation, but we're not going to talk about that. it's just a 2000s game.
Right.
Before we had, like dynamic creation of objects and stuff. Okay.
The other two tabletop games I want to play in are, well, at least IPs or worlds. Actually, three. There are three. So, some sort of like Rocketeer, Crimson Skies, like Diesel Punk world would be a ton of fun. And then just straight up BattleTech. I'd love to play in a BattleTech game. And then the third one is I need to go find, I lost it, but there was a backer kit out for a 5e supplement based on Treasure Planet.
Oh yeah,
Just,
I've gotten ads
hella
for that
fun.
constantly.
Yeah. I need to
I
actually back it. But...
What do you mean I can't rotate it? Well, that's certainly.
Can you turn off the group?
I might be able to. It's not so much a group as it is. Let's see. Let's just do again. Search for gate. Okay. Here we go. Still not ideal, but okay. Now I have access to all my tools again. Let's make it a little bigger so it's not going to get bigger. Got it.
I think it's gotta stay on that grid for whatever reason.
Okay. Well,
there's probably like walkthrough logic and stuff.
Yeah, probably. Okay. Signs. I promised I was moving on to dinosaurs, and I haven't done that. It's just my brain is like, but make park look good. Okay. Where's signs? Signs. There's got to be a security sign. No. Oh. Okay. Somebody's got to have made one though. Right?
Katrina put it in chat. Lodestar is the name of the 5e supplement.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I saw. Definitely got to get on that.
Yeah. Power station. Okay, these are disabled bathroom. That's cool. They have a disabled bathroom side. I like that.
Nice. And Jeremy was talking a bit about the the project we were working on before the transition happened, which would have been super cool. Everybody's bummed that
It's
that
been
didn't pan out.
we've reached the point now. Well, I was being very coy about it on stream the other day, and Jeremy was like, "Fuck it, it was called this, and this is what it was."
Nice.
So, I think we could talk about it because nobody, sniped us. But,
Right.
But yeah, I played a couple demos of it. I really liked the potential it had. It's hard for me to judge because Souls-likes are not my kind of game. And
Yeah,
so
mine either.
and so like stuff like if you started to attack an enemy, then noticed that they were attacking you, you've already made the mistake. You're done. You
Right,
can't
yeah.
you can't fix it. You can't suddenly dodge. It's over. And that was hard for me, but
yeah, it was tough giving feedback because I was like, this isn't really my genre, but also I want to play like everything about the art and the style and everything made me want to play the game, but the actual game I was really it just wasn't, it was frustrating. It was just like,
Yeah.
that's the best way to put it, because it was a Souls-like, so like you said, it's like you couldn't interrupt attacks to change you couldn't interrupt animations. That you had, your health bar was very limited, so you could only really take 1 or 2 hits before you died.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Which was the goal. I mean, they wanted to make a Souls-like
Right.
game, and
Right.
also like, I think there was a bit of because I know some of the stated design goals were like Souls-like but easier, like
Right,
baby's
yeah.
first Souls-like kind of thing, and I didn't feel that, but I don't know.
Right.
I was also
That to me, that's like Jedi Fallen Order is a baby's
Yeah.
first Souls-like, right?
Yeah.
And that was definitely easier than the demos we played, and so I don't know. Like I gave them the feedback of like once
Yeah.
I actually was able to hit, and like I had a great time when I hit the guy, when I killed an enemy and then I died and had to start over, and then then I felt really mad.
And like
So,
I've
I don't-
told, I'm sure Jeremy before. I hope I've told Jeremy before. I had just played Hades with it like the last, 6 months to a year. And you shouldn't compare any game to Hades. That's just unfair.
Yeah, it's interesting, Jeremy. I'm not going to read everything you said out loud, but I mean, like, that's the tension of doing these playtests in a company environment where it's like, okay, you've got 2 hours to play this game. Also, none of the actual like progression systems are in, so you kind of have to trust us that it, will get better or easier or more fun. But
Yeah.
also, you have to kind of, I don't know, like that's also I feel like a dangerous to lean too heavily on that, because people are going to have an experience where if they don't know that it's going to get more fun, or they don't want
They
to take
won't
your word
play.
on it, they'll just bounce off it, right? Like,
Yeah.
so there has to be, I don't know, it's a tough balance to strike, especially when you want to produce something that does have a challenge element to it, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Well, then you've got to market
and
it.
I feel,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, then you've got to market it to the people who love that sort of thing, and
Right.
that's not us. We are not that target audience. So
Right. But it's funny because I feel like there was some tension in the art style versus because the art style that we were going for, the Bluth Disney style, I think had a broad appeal and
Yeah.
made it really interesting. But I think that could have been a bad for the game if it attracted a lot of people who played it for the art and then bounced off it because it was too difficult, right?
Yeah.
And then you get a lot of negative Steam reviews because it's like, oh, this is too hard. It's like, well, yeah, it was supposed to be.
Yeah,
And
that's what's
yeah,
happening with Silksong
yeah.
right now, actually, is like a lot of people are like, I wanted it to be hard, but this is harder than I wanted it to be. Also, Jeremy, you are welcome to hop on this Zoom call as the only one of us who
Right.
actually worked on this game and
Right.
like talk about it if you want. I am totally down. So you don't have to just be in chat being like, no, we knew that. No, you guys are right, we knew that. Hey, motherfuckers, we knew that.
I mean, that's the thing. It's tough. It's super easy to
Yeah,
armchair quarterback all this stuff,
all the time.
and you're yeah. But I agree. Sorry, I agree with Mike though, Jeremy. If you do want to come on and join us,
Yes,
it
please
would be
do.
great to have you.
All right, I'm gonna let chat pick the water dinosaur we're adding to this lagoon. Water dinosaur, and then my options are Thomas, can you actually read my options out to me because it's gonna close? Oh no, wait, I've got it.
The
Attenborosaurus,
the Dunkel. These are weird names.
Dunkleosteus. Yeah, they're all real names.
Ichthyosaurus, I recognize, right?
Yeah.
Chronosaurus, that's pretty cool.
That's a
That
dope
feels like a
name.
metal band.
Chronosaur
Chronosaur coming to Warp Tour 2006.
All right, I don't have enough. I don't have enough poll options, so I'm gonna take a Tenborosaurus out and put in Moza because he's the classic Jurassic World one.
Well, there's a Megalodon, so you could get Jason Statham to come hang out at your park.
That would be great. I would absolutely love that. The poll should be live, but I don't see it. Trexpert, do you see the poll? Or anybody?
I do not see the poll.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Okay, that's annoying because I wrote out all those dinosaur names. Yeah, Hunter, it's funny because we will. Well, not we. But I'm assuming they will never change that. That opening for STO, and yeah, everything is different now. But you can't get better than Leonard Nimoy introing your game.
There have been a couple false starts where we talk about just redoing that intro with his, like keeping his narration, but doing new visuals for it. It's just so much work. It's just there's so much effort going into it.
All right, now the poll's live. Feel free to vote, everybody.
I'm gonna vote for Chronosaurus because it's a badass name.
I'm gonna vote for Dunkleosteus because he looks like he just looks like a fun little derpy guy.
It's like a manatee.
Yeah. All right, Chronosaurus and Dunkleosaurus are tied. Now Mosasaurus is tied as well. It's a very active poll. We might need a tiebreaker.
You know what here. What I wish we had done, nobody asked me, but I wish we had done with Magic after that didn't work out, was just take that game, take all those assets and make an XCOM game.
Oh, like a Magic XCOM?
Yeah. I feel like that would have been really cool.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And it would have worked with the engine, right? Because it wouldn't have been it would have been turn-based, and so.
Yeah. All right, Chronosaurus is our winner. I just want to see what Dunkleosteus. Oh my God! Look at Dunkleosteus. That's like the tardigrade of the dinosaur sea. Oh, we don't have enough scientists for this. Just a moment. I didn't set this for infinite cash. I just set it for high cash. But I feel like with $24 million, I should be able to. Actually, $24 million in the real world, you couldn't make a theme park with that much money.
Right.
Okay, it was genetics we needed. Not a lot of people with high genetics. Highest I can get
Benjamin
is a 2.
Bean.
Get Teremy Plummer. Teremy? Well, that's your name now, Terry. It's Teremy, because. Oh, that's too bad, Jeremy. Sometimes
what
I
is
think
Magic Survivors?
So like Vampire Survivors. Have you ever played Vampire Survivors?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so it's a reverse bullet hell. So there's endless waves of enemies coming at you, usually in a top-down format, and then you start being only able to fire like one very small attack, and then as you level up, you gain more and more attacks that are bigger and crazier until eventually you're filling the screen with, little bullets if you can survive that long.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I feel like sometimes the leadership at Cryptic just didn't understand about fun video games.
we got saucy Thomas today, guys.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Today of all days,
there
yeah.
there was yeah, there's reason for that, but anyway, the Bullet Heaven.
Yeah, Bullet Heaven. That's what I've.
That's
I've heard,
great.
yeah.
But like there was another game pre-Neverwinter called Bronze Age. There was an internal. I think Godlike was the final name for it, but it was going to be a MOBA.
Oh yeah.
But it was very like third-person action, very like God of War, but like the 2002 God of War, very Conan the Barbarian kind of stuff, aesthetic. And it was super fun and had a very like distinct art style, and there wasn't really anything quite like it. And then they delayed it and canceled it, and it was just like, man, I think that game could have been something. And
hey Thomas, I'm gonna interrupt you for one
just,
sec. Jeremy is joining us,
yeah.
so I have to hang up this call and start a new call. So BRB. Here we go.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. I'm gonna get a snack.
I have so much deep lore to share with
Yeah.
Share with us the deepest lore while I make dinosaurs out of nothing. Oh, it's paused.
So Thomas was just talking about Bronze Age, which became godlike. Yeah, this is all stuff that nobody outside of Cryptic probably even knows about it, and there's nobody left at Cryptic to tell me not to talk about it. So yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, it sounds good. Hunter, the legend of the between Neverwinter and Magic launching of the number of cool game ideas Cryptic had that started and stopped was, yeah, it's a lot.
Well, I mean, the technical title of the game that I linked some footage of just a little bit ago,
I didn't see that.
Cartoony one. The technical title of that was P12, which stood for the 12th Cryptic Project.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine how many didn't make it out the door when we basically have Champions, STO, Neverwinter, and Magic that did make it out the door. Yeah. So there were 8 other significant projects that never made it.
Basically, for some context, P12 was meant to be a game after Magic, didn't do well and got canceled. P12 was meant to be a game that very quickly came out and made enough money, not set the world on fire, but made enough money that Cryptic could then invest in a bigger game.
Well, it was also it was intended internally also to prove a few things. One is that Cryptic could still make games because we had just come off the failure of Magic. And so we kind of needed to rebuild a little bit of our reputation, not only with players or fans of the studio and our games, but also with ourselves and with the recruitment people around the industry and with Embracer. And at the time we had also been rolled into Gearbox, so with their leadership as well. It was really meant to prove ourselves to all of those different people. And what you just said was absolutely correct. It was meant to be out the door within originally 2 years. Later, we said it would probably take about 2.5, based on the scope that we were going for. But yeah, it was meant to get out the door quickly. Oh, it was also meant to prove to ourselves and to others that Cryptic Studios wasn't just a proprietary engine studio, that we could do something outside of the Cryptic engine. So it was being built on Unreal. And that was also kind of a test bed to see if maybe the whole studio should switch over to licensed engines instead of spending our tech debt on our own engine,
which seems
so
to
make
a lot of sense.
That is the way that the industry has been shifting recently. It takes a lot of resources to keep a proprietary engine up to modern standards.
Yeah.
And it was becoming more and more expensive, so maybe that time we didn't actually know, because Cryptic Engine is actually, I know that we give it a lot of guff. It's hard to work with, but honestly, it's one of the better ones out there for making MMOs. Especially a lot of the back-end infrastructure. Like Unreal doesn't have any MMO infrastructure, so we would have had to reinvent all of that.
Yeah.
So,
And of
Yeah,
course,
like,
have made
people
MMOs
don't-
in
box.
Unreal, but they had to do a lot of their own work themselves.
Yeah, like Unreal doesn't come with like, you know,
Hold on, everybody.
making,
Dinosaurs are being released. This is very important.
Yes.
And then we will continue. Look at that! Look at that crocodile boy! Oh yes.
Roar.
Named after
All right.
Kronos,
Anyway, you were
king
saying.
of the Titans in Greek
Well, I was
mythology.
just saying that like,
The Kronosaurus
what are
was
the
a
things you need for an
massive
MMO? You need like
animal.
inventory
This is a
systems,
really
items,
big
you know, like
shark would think twice before confronting.
certain
Auction
like
houses, zone chat, like
even just like quests and the way that MMOs track quests, and
Yeah.
like none of that is a given with a game, a third party engine.
Yeah.
Some of it you can set up, but a lot of it you have to build yourself to the specifics of your project. Yeah, so there's a lot of back end. Like, didn't they, for the Oblivion remaster, didn't they like, they only used the Unreal
renderer.
engine for the renderer, but like
Yeah.
the actual game is still the Creation Engine version 1 or whatever, like
Yep.
whatever it was.
Yep. So yeah, that game was meant to serve a lot of purposes. But I wanted to get back to Bronze Age, since that's what Thomas was talking about before he went to get some food. Just a cryptic historian here to give y'all a little bit of history of this. So Thomas is right. It was originally developed under a Bronze Age, and it was meant to be like a third-person MOBA, which but then Smite came out during the same time frame, and it was essentially, our game was Smite. It was just one of those convergent game evolution sort of things. Nobody was trying to copy one another. It just happened to be that we were making Smite, and then Smite came out. So then it transitioned from being a MOBA into being a like hero-based arena PvP game with a lot of focus on melee and dismemberment. So you would have probably loved it, Mike, actually.
I'm not a huge fan of dismemberment, but I get what you mean.
Well, sword fighting though.
Yeah, sword
it was
fighting,
meant to be a lot of like up close and uncomfortable, real visceral combat. And it was actually going okay. The development was fine. They were having troubles because they were a really small team making arenas that were interesting. And so that was kind of the big hang up in the development, at least what I heard about, not being actually part of the team.
Yeah.
And then Neverwinter was in like its third year of development or something like that. And at that time, if I remember everything correctly, the timing, D&D came out with 5th edition. And Neverwinter, up until that point, was being developed for 4th edition. With not as a 4th edition game, but with a lot of inspiration from it. Dailies, heroic powers, all that kind of stuff. Perks, what do they call them? Paragon paths. All that stuff, I think, if I remember correctly, is from 4th edition. So there was this sudden crisis of faith on the Neverwinter team of like, well, we're making a game that's now suddenly outdated. So we need to do something to make our game stand apart and not just be a bad adaptation of 4th edition, which is the bad edition of D&D. Because it was at the time. Like, that was how a lot of people felt about.
And they were
4th
wrong,
ed.
but that's beside the point.
They were wrong, yes. It was actually, well, that's a separate rant. I've been seeing John Hegner, a former content designer in Cryptic. He showed me a bunch of stuff about 4th edition, and even without having ever played it, I think it is probably one of the best editions of D&D that I've ever read.
It's incredible.
So
it's
really sad that it never really took off. I hope it gets a renaissance someday.
Yeah.
Well, that Draw Steel game that I mentioned earlier is actually supposed to be heavily inspired by 4th edition.
Oh, cool.
Lancer
all right, I have
also,
heard of Draw Steel, but maybe
I talk about Lancer too much, but Lancer also has that same kind of 4th edition feel. What I like about Lancer more than more than I liked about Fourth Ed is the fact that why isn't this working? Okay. Is that you can change anything at any time. So like a lot of times in D&D you're like, "Oh, I get, I am playing a monk now and I will be a monk from first level 1 to level 20." Lancer is like, "Yeah, build a mech. You don't like the mech? Throw it out. Build a different mech with different powers and a different frame and it's fine. Don't worry about it. We live in a post-scarcity future."
That's cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got off topic a little bit. So Neverwinter was going through this crisis of faith. Godlike was having development issues with its content, so somebody pretty high up at Cryptic just decided to merge the projects. So they took the combat, which was pretty good, the moment-to-moment combat of Godlike, and merged it into Neverwinter, replacing the more traditional tab targeting kind of WoW-like combat that it had had up until that point, with this more action-based, shooter mode, almost like combat. That is what you still see in Neverwinter today. So that, and I honestly, it's sad that we didn't get to release Godlike because I think it had some really interesting ideas, but nobody would give it the resources that it would have needed to get off the ground. And it was probably the right call in retrospect to use it to save Neverwinter. Because I don't know that Neverwinter would have been as much of a success as it was if it was just more of a traditional MMO combat game.
Yeah, I agree. And the other, I also wanted to mention.
I trust you have the skills and expertise to handle this task.
There was another Cancel Cryptic project that seemed really cool. That was based on. It was like a sequel to Champions. I don't know, Jeremy. They might have canceled this even before you got there, right after you got there. But it was like Creatures of the Night, I think was what it was called.
Yeah, that was. I actually know about this one weirdly from working on Champions. It was using the Cryptic, using basically the Champions engine and assets to make kind of like a World of Darkness game.
Yeah, it wasn't technically a sequel. I don't think it was set in the same world, but it was a spin-off kind of like just in the same way you do a new setting splat book for a tabletop game. Like this was the Ravenloft of Champions, kind of. Yeah, it was interesting. That was where our animation system got a lot more robust because of Creatures of the Night. But if I remember correctly, the reason that Creatures of the Night got canceled was kind of multifold. They again, it was another underfunded project that needed more resources in order to be able to prove itself, which is kind of a through line for a lot of the canceled stuff at Cryptic, unfortunately. Eyes bigger than their stomach in terms of taking on new projects. But there was also so they'd gotten some pretty good prototyping done on Creatures of the Night, since it was using a lot of reused pre-existing assets from Champions, as Mike mentioned. It was pretty easy to get early prototypes off the ground. And then somebody got the crazy idea to show it to I think it might have been Sony at the time, and pitch it as a Underworld MMO.
Oh.
So using the Underworld IP and kind of layering it over top of this existing like werewolves versus vampires, mostly just werewolves, honestly, video game. And it got enough interest that they started doing some retooling and storyboarding and not storyboarding, like early narrative exploration of what it could be in the Underworld IP. And then Sony said they didn't want to do it. And so that it just got canceled. Because it was like we've shifted the direction of the development of this World of Darkness thing to adapt to the Underworld IP, and then they pulled out. And it was seen as too much of a strain to try and shift back and figure out how to work it out. Again, this is all secondhand information, but I think it's mostly accurate.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that part. That's pretty wild.
I do remember that the Underworld IP was like a reason for, first of all, one of the reasons for the excitement that started to get buzzed around the project, even to the point that at least one developer that I know from SDO was like angling to become the design director for the project.
I have a feeling I know who that could be, but
yeah. So yeah. And then there was also talk about once the Underworld got pulled out, like maybe we should talk to White Wolf and do like an actual werewolf tie-in. I think it was White Wolf, right, that did the books
Yeah.
for Werewolf.
Yeah.
But again, it just kind of, that was about where the project petered out. I don't know if those things were directly involved, but they were probably part of the conversations, like directly to blame or not.
Yeah. I realized that I had forgotten to give my park any power, so we are fixing that
Whoops.
now. Park was open and nothing was working.
Why aren't the electric fences stopping the T-Rex?
Thank God I didn't have a T-Rex.
They're just fences. Listen, if in real video games, fences can stop anything.
Especially me as a kid. It drives me crazy
Exactly.
in Hitman, which I'm still absolutely adoring that game. But there are some low walls and fences that you can vault over, but only where the team has very carefully designed you to be able to do that as part of their assassination puzzle. And sometimes I'm just trying to
Right.
move quickly from one place to another, and I'm like, why can't I just do this?
Yeah.
Okay. Park has power now. Hooray. Back
How's your
to
vacation,
building.
Jeremy?
Oh, it's fantastic. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I got sick.
Oh, Jesus.
So
That's not the
I
way.
canceled my road trip.
I'm sorry.
It's still nice to not be in the office, or quote
Yeah.
unquote in the office for
Yeah.
a few days.
Yeah. Right. I hear you.
It's nice to just have the nope, that's not what I wanted. Have the ability to not have to think about work while you're at home.
Man, last night I got into bed at like 6 and just played Final Fantasy Tactics until I fell asleep.
Nice. I have never played Tactics, and I should probably.
Now was a good time. The Ivalisk Chronicles just came out. That's kind of the definitive edition of the game. They added a lot of They added voices to the whole game. It's never been
Yeah, I didn't
voiced
have
before.
it prior. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a new translation too, which is a bit more. So the original translation was kind of infamous, which I like. I have nostalgia for it, but it wasn't that great. But it does have the one of the best lines in video game history, which is blame yourself or God. which is phenomenal, especially in context. Like this character is kidnapping a princess, and this knight comes out who's supposed to protect the princess, is chasing him, and she yells at him, you knave or whatever, and he's like, it's not my fault. Blame yourself or God. And then he runs away.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And then so they did a port to the PSP called the War of the Lions, which is really good. And they had a new translation for that, but the new translation is like hyper Shakespearean language, which fits, but it's also a little obtuse, right? So
Yeah.
like
Kinda
blame
swung the
yourself.
pendulum on the language a little
Right.
too far the other direction.
Yeah, exactly. So like blame yourself or God became tis your birth and faith that have wronged you, not I. Which is also a good line, but it's a mouthful, right?
Yeah.
So the new translation is, I don't actually remember what the new version of that line is, but it still has that medieval feel, but it's a lot easier to digest. And then the voice actors are really good. And they actually got so like in FFT you have a giant party. Actually you can have like 50 people in your party.
Because
a lot of those people are
kind of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of those people are just random people you pick up. You do have some like story characters, but a lot of them are just generic sellswords that join your party. But it's still cool. They made voices for the random people too.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they have a little bit of personality that they didn't have before.
They also like the remaster. I'm looking forward to playing it. I haven't picked it up yet, but it's got a lot of like quality of life issues that were missing from the original. Made it a little bit painful to go back and play the classic experience.
God.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
The biggest one is there's actually a turn order now.
Yeah,
Like
you
it
can
tells
see
you
who's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you
which
either
the
had to
original did not
inspect
have.
everybody individually or guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Which is
better.
important because it's a tactical game. You need to know who's going to move before your next spell
Yes.
goes off and stuff like that.
Well, and there are certain classes that like all of their moves have a delay. Like all of their attacks have a delay. And so like planning on and you have to target a square, not like a unit. And so if you target if you try to use, so for example, the archer, right? You use the archer has an ability called aim, and you can aim longer for a stronger attack. But if you aim and shoot and the enemy is moved, you're not tracking the enemy. You're shooting at the square the enemy's on. So like you need to know that like I'm gonna get this shot off before the enemy moves, or else it's pointless. So that kind of thing, having the turn order makes a huge difference in making those things be useful.
I've also just seen a lot of general menu improvements, and they even
Yeah.
voiced like the historians dialogues that kind of like are narration, and the like innkeepers, and a lot of stuff that when I heard about the remaster, it was more than I expected. The work that they did on
absolutely.
it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And actually, what's great is the original writer came back to work on the new, like to update the translation. Yeah, and he has a really because the main story is actually a lot to do with a conflict between the nobility and like serfdom, and the story starts with it's the end of this war. This war has lasted 50 years. The country that you're in lost the war. All of the soldiers and knights came home, but because the country lost the war, none of them got paid.
Oh, geez. So they're all mercenaries
and
now.
That's they're all mercenaries or bandits or whatever. And so there's this like tension between the nobility, who still have all their money and castles and stuff, versus their lieges, their knights, their squires that like went to war, put their lives on the line, got hurt or injured or whatever, and then came back with like absolutely nothing to show for it. And that's kind of the table setting. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what the game director said when he was talking about the remaster. He's like, this story is about injustice and inequality, and it like I updated it, and I wanted to revisit it because it felt very relevant to the times that we're living in now. So
look at this
I'm
tiny
very
compy
excited
on the end of this thing. That's incredible.
That's wild. At least give him a box.
Alright, what are you guys looking for? You need more grassland? We can do that.
I noticed you're using mountains for enclosures in some of these places. I hope that works.
It does. It does. For the first time in this game, you can modify the mountains and stuff.
It is the exact kind of disaster that I try so hard
and they work as fences. Yeah.
The dinosaurs.
Although that one says he's a danger to guess, so maybe not. The first time I tried this, there was a dinosaur who could climb mountains much better than I thought he could.
Little Goatosaurus. Well, it just might be that the hills on the side might not be steep enough.
It could
like
be.
Those
It also
hills
could be. I think there's
right.
a gap here I should try and close. So the compies don't go making snacks. Okay, I'm just gonna put the fence over the mountain.
I think if it goes into the mountain, you're probably fine.
I think so, but it's not really letting me do that. So Where are they going? Because usually when they're a danger to
Maybe
guess,
on the
they
left
just-
there. They're probably
Yeah,
gonna. Yeah, I think
I think they're
that's
running
not-
right for the left there. Let's just pause real quick.
Nothing to see here for the folks. This is all
Part of the plan.
This is
monitored
normal
and
for
approved
Jurassic
by the
Park.
National Parks Association.
There's definitely not a bunch of dinosaur corporations now. Okay, that should probably
Let's
do
see.
it.
See what happens.
Oh god, where are you guys going? Okay, I'm gonna just click on him and follow him.
It's funny. I was really just asking for a game design standpoint, like do mountains work in this game, and now it's
Right.
become a whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is no longer. No, they're both still dangerous to guess. How? I wish you would tell me.
Is there a map mode that might show like holes in fences or a heat map or something?
It does, but it doesn't like. Really?
They're
You
so
know-
cute.
The compies? Yeah, they're ridiculously cute.
Yeah.
The dinosaur
Well, I think
behaviors.
this is. The babies are new, right? Like the
babies are new for this
juvenile
year,
dinosaurs
yeah.
are new to this game. Yeah.
so
yeah.
so a baby compy will be even more tiny, and I can't wait till we get one. But for right now, let's release these Ankylosauruses and see if we have the same problem.
This is my favorite dinosaur.
Oh yeah,
And Kylorensaurus.
Kylorensaurus. I love it. Oh, I actually gave him kind of those colors, so your joke was perfectly
Nice.
timed. They have sexual dimorphism in this game now, so
Oh, cool.
females and males will be different colors. Which also, as a man playing God, I can choose which colors each females and males will be.
Nice.
But the like you can also like if they have positive traits, you can try and get them to breed with other people with positive traits to like make sure the babies have that.
But where are the feathers?
Not on this one, but they did remake my my Deinonychus to have feathers. I say my because Deinonychus has been my favorite animal for a very long time. Oh yeah, I didn't put any water in this pen. I'm great at running a zoo. So that blue line is their territory. So as they explore, they'll more and more of the pen will become their territory. So things may seem less satisfactory right now, but now like they've got enough pasture now. Do you have enough ground leaf? I thought I gave you a lot of ground
That'll
leaf.
probably reveal gaps in your fence too, if you have any, right? Because their territory will spill out.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Do you want to go check the Diana?
That's what I'm doing with the compies.
Compy,
So
that's
small, I can't find them. That's okay. That's what this is for. Not going to show me your territory?
He's not a danger to guess anymore.
Oh yeah, I fixed it. Look at that.
it. Well done.
Hooray! All right, let's go back to making these.
Well, that
guys
answers the question though. So that so a mountain is steep enough.
Yeah,
it
it just has
can-
to be a certain steepness, I guess, depending on the animal. Like I bet you, Ankylosauruses can't climb mountains as well as like a Velociraptor can.
Hmm.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, they're pinned against a mountain. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
I'm just checking to see if once they get the full territory, if they still need more area. They clearly need more ground fruit, so let's do that. Or ground fruit.
I want to talk up Final Fantasy Tactics a little more.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I first of all, it's an incredibly well-designed tactical game. I don't think I need to go into detail there. It just is. It's probably one of the best of all time. Definitely the best I've ever played. And in terms of its place in the Final Fantasy universe too, it's like it's the one that most Final Fantasy fans have essentially like unofficially graduated to a numbered product.
Yeah.
You know, their numbered games are essentially their flagship products, and then there's dozens of little side games that bear the Final Fantasy name but not a number. But Tactics has for a very long time been considered like it's a flagship product. It's that
Yeah.
good.
Well, I mean, it's the game that tops or almost tops every list. It's like 6, 7, and Tactics are the ones that everybody always talks about forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The story is also incredible. I think there's a lot to learn about like video game storytelling, what can and can't be done in a world scope sense. Because like you play as a hero who has a very specific focus. You're trying to set out to do something, and it's important to the world. But there's also so much else going on. Like the whole mercenaries and bandits thing that Thomas was talking about. It kind of gets you jump started, but then later, not too far into the game, you discover that there's this whole more supernatural threat happening in the world. And you basically take on that task to overcome that supernatural threat with you and your party.
Yeah, because it
But all that
out
other
with,
stuff still
starts out with going to
exists.
school and ends up with fighting God. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, all that other stuff still exists in the world and still impacts things that are going on. There's still politics. There's still war. There's still all of that because the central story that you engage with ends up being essentially like the book of a heretic and gets like disregarded, and it happens concurrently with very important historic events that you impact, but you don't control. You aren't the hero of that tale, and so it's a really interesting story experience because of all that.
I really should play it. It came out during the era where I was like, well, I think I've told this story many times, but you know, I was such a huge fan of Final Fantasy VI, and then all of the marketing, and such a huge Nintendo fanboy back then, and all of the marketing for Final Fantasy VII was like, if you play games on a Nintendo, you're a child.
You're a little baby.
Yeah. That made it just so I, for years was like, fuck PlayStation. I'll never play a PlayStation game. Because I'm so glad I outgrew, by the way, the fandom thing. Like, I used to argue Star Wars versus Star Trek. You know what doesn't fucking matter?
Yeah, let people like things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Final Fantasy VII was the first game that I bought with my own money.
Oh, wow.
That I had earned from a job. So.
Nice.
Well, no, that's not true, is it? I bought a Genesis. I just don't like to remember those times.
Yeah, FF7 it wasn't those commercials, but there definitely was a commercial about FF7 that was, Nintendo can't do this.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
There was I remember seeing.
But that was yeah.
I remember seeing a print ad, in something, that was like, if we were going to put this on cartridge on an SNES, it would be 4 billion cartridges, or something stupid like that.
Yeah. But I mean, seeing it was the cinematics from FF7, which are like god awful, like by today's standards. But
yes.
Oh, they're charming. Give them a break.
But it was seeing that I was like, I think because my parents were like. And I know it's a privilege to get a video game console for Christmas, but my parents were like, okay, you can get one. You have to pick if you want an N64 or a PlayStation. And so I was like, well, do I want, like, all my friends were playing Ocarina of Time and like Mario 64 and all that. So I wanted an N64 and obviously GoldenEye. But I don't know, something about the cinematics of FF7 and those commercials. It's like, now I got to try that. And I knew nothing about RPGs. Yeah. Like, I didn't really know what I was getting into.
I mean, Final Fantasy VI is my favorite game of all time, and I got it basically by accident. I asked for Breath of Fire 3, and I was like, but if they don't have that, like, you can get this other game I've seen advertised, and
nice.
The rest is history.
Nice. I'm still waiting for them to do. I'm kind of surprised they haven't done an actual, like, honest to God remake of FF6.
Yeah,
They've done a lot of like
They've done so many
up-reses and
others.
stuff, but yeah.
So make
Yeah.
sure your scenery delivers.
Well, maybe when they finally finish the remake for 7, they'll move on to something else.
Hey
Every
man,
now and
it's
then-
taken a while, but I'm loving it. I love
Yeah,
it.
I know.
it's-
I'm gonna give them guff for it, but still, I do enjoy it.
I haven't played it. I haven't ever finished FF7 either. I played it once for like hours, but
hmm
um,
The remake is honestly like, just play that. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just better
it's
than
really-
the original. It really is.
yeah. Well, I don't disagree with you, Jeremy. I'm sure that that's heresy to some people. I think that it's definitely, as an entry point to that IP, it is the best way to experience it. I think, like it's the characters and the world and all of that are so well presented and like,
hey guys, I don't think the Ankylosaurus, the mountains worked for the Ankylosaurus.
oh no.
just quietly plotting out like, hey guys, capture team, if you could.
At
Take
least
care of
he's
that.
not
But
a
they're
danger to
herbivores, right?
guess.
Yeah, they're nice, so okay, they're getting out somewhere over here. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
No,
this-
go back in. Hurry.
No, I can build it, but not while it's obstructed by Ank001. I have to wait for him to slowly get out of there.
Hey guys. It's just like do.
Do.
We've
That's
invested
amazing.
millions in these fences and landscaping and ground fruit, but we left a 10-foot gap for them to walk
We left
through.
a gap that is exactly as wide as an Ankylosaurus. Somehow.
And he still managed to find it. It's only 2 meters wide.
I'm bullseye womp
bigger than
rats
a
at my
womp rat.
T16 back home. That's not much bigger than that, or smaller than that.
Can I complain about? So I love some things about Rogue One, but I actually really didn't like that they made the Death Star's weakness intentional.
Yes, same.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I saw that movie with Gary Whitta, who is one of the early writers on it,
Mhm.
and afterwards he was like, "I did it! I patched Star Wars!" And I was like, "Did you?
No.
Did you, buddy?
Did it need to be patched? Is it
like because fascist empires, kind of tend to do shit like that because they
Oh,
go.
exactly? They overlook
corners
the
and-
details. Yeah,
And underestimate their opponents.
Yeah.
right. Exactly.
I was just thinking, Disco was
But
saying
anyway.
they don't know anything about dinosaurs. I was just thinking I should get Duncan on a Jurassic World stream since he's an actual paleontologist.
Oh, nice.
I wonder, I've done all this work. Can I just flatten out this mountain that I didn't mean to make? Please? Oh god.
I think
why?
Katrina's point in chat about like Galen you could have had that arc with Galen and Jin, but it's just Galen realizes that it's
Yeah.
a weakness and tells Jin about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you can still get those characters and they still kind of roughly contribute the same things, but it's not like, it's just not like shit happens, people get lucky, people make mistakes. Like assigning intent to every goddamn thing in your universe makes it less realistic, not more realistic.
Yeah. A lot of
anyway.
fans just miss that, I think. Like they just sort of think,
Yeah.
oh, we need, everything needs to be explained. It was one of those
Right.
things. It's one of those things that happened with a lot of the new Trek stuff, because it introduced a concept, and then the fans would be like, "Well, that doesn't make sense because XXX," and like, no attempt either from fans to explain it, and they expected the show to lay it out for them, like immediately. And I was always kind of like, what if we just wait and see if there is an explanation? Now, sometimes there wasn't. I fully admit, a lot
Yeah.
of the Klingon stuff had no explanation. Why they looked different. The explanation was we're making a new TV show and we upgraded our effects budget and we wanted to, make that a thing.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. There's this is just personal opinion, but like there's ways they could have still done that without spitting on the IP. That's Rush. That's rough. I don't really mean spitting on it.
I
But
know.
disrespecting it.
I don't feel like it was disrespectful, but I know we disagree on that a lot. I feel like
Uh-huh.
it's more, was it disrespecting the IP when the movies first made Klingons not just like an analog for
A guy with bushy
a guy with bushy
eyebrows,
hair, yeah, who was probably Russian
Yeah.
or Chinese. Like, was that spitting on the IP? I think the IP's been around long enough that people are now more willing to be like, that's spitting on it, when it's like, is it though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I respect that opinion entirely, but I'm still gonna have my own.
Yep. Well, and also, like, nobody's complained about the Bridge of the Enterprise. Well, I hope nobody's complained about the Bridge of the Enterprise in Strange New Worlds or Discovery, even though it looks very different because it looks very the same at the same time.
Well, you can count on me to complain about it, but I will say here's what I complained about. Here's what I complained about, right? I complained about it on Discovery. No, because they fixed it. Because they didn't listen to me or anything, but they changed the thing that bothered me, and it looked better. So what I complained about is on Discovery, all the computer like screens were blue. And I know this is silly. I know it's a detail, whatever.
It's fine. Things are important to people. I'm not going to judge you for that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it was just one of those things. It's like if you guys want this to be the Enterprise, like that you can make decisions about details that it can still be up-resed and like modernized, but like who cares if the screens, like, why change the computer screen colors from orange to blue, right? Because in the original show they're like orange and green and yellow, and in the Discovery version of the bridge they made them blue like the screens in the Discovery, and it was just like, I don't know, I was just like, oh, it would have been cool if they had made it more consistent with,
Sure.
because it doesn't cost anything. It's not like making the screens orange made them look less modern or futuristic or sexy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, so but I was excited about it because I was like, but when they made it to series, they changed that set so that those computers were using the same color palette from the original series, and it was great. And it was like, this is a great, we can you can update these things, but also preserve the characteristics of them that made them unique and interesting, and that's I think the when you're updating something, I think that's the thing that is important to consider is like, yeah, I get that you want to modernize it and bring it into like aesthetics that modern audiences are used to or are comfortable with, but you can also still make choices that that are reverential to the original, and so the people who have been with the franchise that whole time like recognize the thing that they're looking at, and I think by and large Strange New Worlds has actually been really good at that for the sets and the costumes and stuff. Like, they've done a really good job of updating them while still keeping that like mid-century modern look to them, the colorful, like optimistic, clean,
Yeah.
while making it a little sleeker and more complex and stuff. So I don't think, yeah, I think that the ship maybe is a little too like grungy and industrial. Like, I wish that the exterior of the ship, the hull plating and stuff, were clean white paint like the original Enterprise, the TOS version, but like the sets and the props and the costumes, I think, have all been on point for that show.
The thing that stands out to me is
I miss the like the carpet clean look of the TNG era stuff.
I was just going to say the same thing. And TOS also had carpeted interiors, but they made them all like this reflective pseudo glass plastic stuff in Strange New Worlds. And it does look good. I'll give them that. Like, it is very aesthetically pleasing to watch this show. And if they went back and made them carpeted, it might feel dated. But at the same time, I wish they had, because I think it's reverential. I think is a better term. Instead of calling it that it's disrespectful, doing it the other way is reverential to an IP that I think deserves it.
So one thing that I think is interesting, and it is, is something that I think comes up with both the Klingon design change and the screen color design change is we talk a lot about ludonarrative dissonance on this stream because it's something that I'm always fascinated with, which if you're new here is the idea that like you're playing Uncharted, if there was a real version of that story, quote unquote, Nathan Drake probably didn't gun down like 300 people over the course of a weekend. Like that's a gameplay thing that game developers made. But okay, they should be able to get to that wetland now. What the hell, guys?
It's so
also
far.
It also applies to stuff like Trek and all the big fantasy franchises too, where I think there's something to be said for what we see on screen isn't real in one way or another. I don't know if this is making any sense, but like being able to hold in your head that in TOS the ship looked like this and in Strange New Worlds the ship looks like this, and they are still both the same ship and it looks like both of them. Which is I know is really hard for folks who are really into like canon and like the nitty gritty details and stuff like that. But the thing that I love is when I was watching Lego Star Wars, what's the name of it? Freemaker Adventures, which is I still say one of my favorite Star Wars TV shows, absolutely worth a watch. But they put in the show doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you're in if you're trying to follow actual Star Wars canon, because it's not trying to follow actual Star Wars canon. It's a fucking Lego TV show. But it's got a whole, like, if you look at it as I shouldn't try to put down a building and talk about this at the same time. If you look at it as Star Wars is, instead of one coherent long story with a canon, it is a series of tales being told by different people. That show makes perfect sense as something a kid is saying, about the adventures he had when he was a kid for him to understand. And if we looked at it from like his older sister's perspective, it'd be very different.
Yeah, and I think why people have trouble with that, like I think that's a great way to look at it. I think people have trouble with that because for a lot of people of a certain age, right, a lot of people who are fans of those shows, Star Wars and Star Trek, I think both, maybe more Star Trek, I don't know, but like they kind of had shitty lives in the show. It wasn't just a show. They weren't just stories. It was like a place that you escaped to, right? And so for you, that place is very real. And so to see other people change that place on you, I think is, it's hard for some people to grapple with or understand that, like, this is, it's kind of what people mean when they say, oh, you ruined my childhood, right?
Yeah.
Like this thing was a comfort to me, and you're changing the thing about it that made me love it, right? Like, and so you're taking my blankie away, really is like, and like, I don't mean that in a mean way at all, but that's really what they mean. Like this has been with me my whole life. It is something that I use to cope with whatever shit I had to deal with, and now it's being turned into something that I don't recognize. And so it's like you took my favorite teddy bear and tried to replace him with a unicorn, and I don't want a unicorn. I want my teddy bear,
Yeah, I think that makes
Even though
sense.
a
I think
unicorn
it's
would
just
be
it's hard
awesome.
to have I guess my thought is it's hard to have both things. A story that is unchanging and is your blanket for your entire life and all of existence, and a story that keeps having new stories being told. Like that's really hard to have both things. And I think a lot of people, I think you're absolutely right, and I think I know you would agree with this. A lot of people take that reaction way too far in a knee-jerk way of like
Well, yeah, and they
anything new
don't.
is
I mean, I think
terrible.
I think that the problem is that most people who feel that way don't understand that's what they're feeling.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
they lack the emotional intelligence.
right, exactly. And so you know, when people yell at us or me about like doing, oh, you did, you know, you ruined this, or you did, you know, that this is shitty. Like I try to look at it through that perspective. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, and then that's really what's going on, and I sort of sympathize with that. But you're right. Like things have to change. They have to grow. I think there's a good way to do it and a bad way to do it, and I think both franchises have had mixed success. You
Yeah.
know,
I think we
Well,
finally
so have
entered
we.
into an era. We finally entered into an era where people are starting to adapt things correctly. Like, you know, the MCU did a very good job of, here's the exact, like, here's where everything we're doing is based on this material and has the details from the material, but we're still going to change some things that don't make sense for the story that we're telling, but not so many that it's, you know, a completely different story, which is the difference between like the
Mhm.
2000s Fox movies and the MCU movies. Um,
yeah,
one of the things I think that both Trek and Wars has struggled with is not having uh, anything to adapt, and they do, but they didn't want to.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
right.
yeah. Like when Lucasfilms was acquired by Disney, essentially, and then they did the big canon purge,
yeah,
the beta canon purge. Yeah, that was a. I think I agree with you. I think you're saying that was basically a misstep, right? That they could have instead embraced that
I
as
think
part of their lineage and expanded on it or used what they wanted and all that.
I don't think there's a world where um, you could have kept the EU as is and said all of this is canon, and then continued making Star Wars stories, because just so much has
No,
been written over the years. But if they did,
saying
like,
all of it is invalid was
right, well,
also
if they
a
did their own
misstep.
version of Heir to the Empire as Episode 7, like, you know, people would have dug that. Or if they just, you know,
Mhm.
introduced Mara Jade somewhere or something like that. Not that I really want Mara Jade to be canon. Uh, make Mara Jade canon, you cowards. But uh,
I
so
I'm
you know,
also
Right, Katrina?
I'm also interested in Marge. I don't know why. Like I don't like I don't it's not like I don't really even remember those books very well. I just think I remember thinking Mara Jade was a cool character, but I
she
don't really remember much about her actually. And I think that a lot of different characters they've introduced since then have kind of worked in her archetype,
yes,
right? Of like bad guy turned good guy.
Even
Um,
Ahsoka, I feel, is
yeah,
in some ways. Yeah, I don't know if she actually was inspired by Mara Jade, but she has some similarities there.
yeah,
Yeah, I think Katrina said we talk a lot about like if you were to introduce Mara Jade into the modern Star Wars canon, how can you do it? And the thing I want to do is you know you have Mara Jade, she's kind of a maybe she was like a failed Inquisitor or
mm.
she noped out at some point, and then she finds Mace Windu's lightsaber,
Oh,
and
nice.
and then like when she starts using his lightsaber, then his Force Ghost comes to her, and like so she starts learning about being a badass Jedi from Mace Windu's Force Ghost
Can I?
through
Oh,
you know
shit, did I
her,
just fuck
her
up my
lightsaber.
Encounter
So
Force Cage? Can I ask a question that is
Mhm.
most likely coming from a place of me not growing up with the prequels? Why does everybody want Mace Windu back so bad? Like, other than
I
like
like Samuel L. Jackson. I
Samuel
don't know, like
Jackson's great,
is
yeah,
that
no,
enough?
I'm with you. I'm with you there. But it's just like everybody's like, and then the secret will be that it's really Mace Windu, and I'm like, it's not though.
Oh
It's
well,
definitely not.
the only reason the only reason the only reason I thought of him was because of his purple lightsaber.
Oh
And
yeah,
so, and
and Mara has one
Mara
of
Jade had
those.
a purple lightsaber, right?
Yeah,
So I just thought it'd be a cool way to like, um, to
There's a
honor
lot.
the fact that it was he wanted a purple lightsaber because nobody else had one.
yeah,
So like, instead of introducing a new character that also has one, it's still his, right? It's just
yeah.
being used by this other character.
Although we have canon, do we have canon purple lightsabers now, Katrina? Help me out with that. I don't remember.
there's the potential for a lot of exploration of the philosophy of the Force
Oh God.
that they did
Yes.
in Clone Wars, but also that they could have done with Mace Windu. I think he was a good candidate for exploring the balance more than like light equals good and dark equals evil.
It's interesting because I
and
always get... Go ahead.
That's a side of Star Wars that I have always found really interesting, and Thomas knows from the games that I've ran, I'm really interested in like kind of the gray areas that tend to exist in the universe, whereas the movies are pretty typified by it being a very black and white conflict.
What I think is interesting is, and I know this isn't canon, but you're gonna get me talking about my philosophy on the Jedi. And they did this a lot in the High Republic, which I fucking loved. Actually going more into what the Jedi are like if, you know, they don't have the terrible terrible upbringing and lack of emotional intelligence that like Anakin and Obi-Wan did. And like, so the High Republic Jedi are much more emotionally interesting and competent, which I like a lot. But there's so many people who, and I'm not saying this is what you guys were saying, but there's so many people over the years who are like, well, I don't identify with being a Jedi or a Sith. I'm a gray Jedi. And then you drill down and ask them what they're talking about and what they really are looking for and what they're, you know, what they mean they don't like about the Jedi. And the stuff they don't like about the Jedi is the stuff about the Jedi that I think is supposed to be bad in the prequels. If nothing else, it's been read as bad afterwards, whether George intended that or not.
Close-mindedness.
Yeah, close-mindedness, dogma. Yeah, all of that stuff. I think
forbidding attachment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Attachment being forbidden, love being forbidden is the dumbest thing, because love literally solved every conflict in that universe. Like Luke saved the galaxy with love. Obi-Wan managed to survive against Darth Vader with love. Rey, you know, saved the galaxy from the Emperor again with love. It's the most important part of that universe.
Right.
Yeah, that's something that drives me crazy. But yeah,
Katrina.
After being rejected by Yaddle for that's amazing, Katrina.
Yoda was just a Jedi incel, and he forced it on everyone else.
Oh no!
Yeah, no!
Oh no!
I was really expecting, because the High Republic had so many like folks who were folks who were fucking hell, brain. Come on, you got this. Oh, High Republic had so many folks who were like entangled Jedi relationships one way or another that I really expected it to end with like some sort of horrific tragedy that would cause all the Jedi to be like, whoa, we got to be way more closed off. But I don't know if that actually happened, because I haven't finished the High Republic.
I'm afraid I'm unfamiliar. Is this a comic book series or what?
Yes, it is a comic book series, video game series. It was a publishing initiative that Lucasfilm did.
It's kind of like what they did with
Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire, yeah, where it's like everything but a movie.
Yeah. It was really cool. It was a really neat thing. They had a bunch of writers working together. There was a ton of comic books. It was mostly comics and books, and then it was there was a couple of video games that had tie-ins to it. Jedi Survivor or Jedi Fallen Order, one of them had like things that tied into the High Republic story, but like, you know, you kind of only got it if you knew the story. That said,
you say High Republic, that's also a time period, right? Ancient.
It is, yeah.
Thousands of years ago.
Yeah, and I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought Acolyte was pre-High. No, you're right. Acolyte is post-High Republic, I think.
It's like at the tail end of it.
That's right.
It
was
the
Acolyte.
Yeah. Acolyte was supposed to be, I think, kind of tell the story of exactly what you said, Mike. Of like, this is how we get from the High Republic Jedi to the prequel Jedi.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Oh, Katrina, you just tell him. You know more than me. I'm not gonna try and correct people on Star Wars timelines. I have the book upstairs. I could do that.
Well, so she's saying 100 years before the Phantom Menace. Trexpert says 200. I'm sure it's somewhere in that timeline. That makes sense.
I feel like
I haven't actually seen Acolyte yet.
Oh, you should. It's great.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It was unfairly maligned by the chuds of
Yep.
Can I
the internet.
be painfully I'll just turn in my Star Trek fan card because I couldn't get past Book of Boba Fett. I'll be honest.
Oh, okay. We were talking earlier
Yeah.
about how much we liked that.
I mean, it's not terrible. It just wasn't what I wanted and wasn't what I expected. And it goes back to that whole thing I was saying earlier about it. They could have done that with more respect to the original IP and to the fan expectations and everything, but they didn't.
I
And
guess
it really upset me.
I guess my thing with that is because you're right. Everybody wants Boba Fett. Everybody was mad because Boba Fett wasn't the most badass guy in the universe and just murking people all the time. But like, I don't know what that story is. I don't know how you tell the story as just...
No, I mean, I didn't. Once we had the Mandalorian and we had this new telling of an interesting, slightly different to very different take on a Mandalorian bounty hunter, I just felt like the story of Boba Fett was unnecessary at that point. We had something more interesting to the modern Trek that took its place, and so then resurrecting the character and doing something that was so weird with him, I don't know. It really rubbed me wrong. I don't want to go into it because I know that you and I have very different opinions on it, but I think also the last sequel movie came out around the same time, and that really ticked me off.
You know, it is.
So I kind of fell off as a Star Wars fan at the time. I should get back into it.
There we go. It's finally connected. Hell yeah. Yeah. It's hard.
You have a whole shirt.
What? I have a whole shirt about it.
Yeah.
Fragrance, post a picture of you in your custom suit in chat.
I'm sorry I keep saying Star Trek. I spend 90 hours a week talking about it. It's a hard habit to break.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I had so I found this guy on Instagram who was a personal trainer. This is going to sound way off topic. Personal trainer who focused on Star Wars. He was like For the Republic Fitness or something like that.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and all of his stuff was like Clone Wars themed, and it was pretty cool. And then I had a conversation with him, and it was a weird conversation. I didn't get a good vibe off of it. I don't know why. And so then on like the last question, I was like, it didn't seem like this was going to be a good fit for me, but let me ask this guy one last question to see what how compatible we are to work together. And so I was like, so what did you think of The Last Jedi? And he was like, oh, I thought it was a big miss. And I was like, cool, we're never working together. Which I know isn't ever is yeah.
I like The Last Jedi is my favorite sequel movie. I really did not like Rise of Skywalker. But I mean, yeah, I know the sequels are pretty divisive anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say in defense of Book of Boba Fett, like to me, and Mike and I were talking about this before. I mean, one of the things I really liked about it was that it showed a guy who is essentially a henchman, right? He was just like Boba Fett. Yeah, he's a badass bounty hunter, but he's always working for somebody else. And I like the idea of showing somebody like that becoming self-aware and realizing that like none of the people he works for give a shit about him, and that the only way that he's going to really have any peace is if he kind of takes matters into his own hand and becomes his own boss, essentially. And so I think that was a
cool
poll
up, by the way,
story
for
thread.
what dinosaur to pick for. Sorry, before the poll.
Yeah,
There's only one option in the poll, though.
What? There's 6 options in the poll that I'm seeing.
I can only see one.
I can only see one too.
Okay, ignore that poll, and we'll give you another one in a minute.
But I have to say, like, Thanatos Drakon, doesn't that mean literally Death Dragon? How can you not pick that one?
Okay, that's a very good point. Oh, wait, somebody was able to vote on Tropa Thingy. Oh, people are voting on other ones. Okay, so the poll is kind of working. but
It's
it's a
working now.
three-way
I
tie
see
right
it
now.
Tropa thingy.
Yeah, I was tired of typing out long dinosaur names. Yeah, I have an interesting thing that okay, it's a choice between Quetzal and Tropa Thingy. I'm gonna do Tropa Thingy because he's funny looking. I mean, look at that dude. That's just a weird dude. Okay, so I have a weird thing, and I think to a certain extent, I'm like, it could be viewed as me being like naive or not as sophisticated or all those things. When I'm watching a movie, it's very hard to pull me out. You can. Most recently, Honey Don't pulled me out hard. I ended up being like, "What the fuck was that?" and hating the movie about three-quarters of the way through. But um, like most of the time, when I see something in a movie, whether I'm a huge, I just sort of go, "Okay, that's okay," and start the story or continue the story in my head. So like the stuff that really should have pissed me off in Rise of Skywalker, like, the whole Rey is Palpatine's kid, it just kind of flowed over me. I was like, yeah, I kind of figured they were going to do
Spoilers.
something like that. um, and I could like in my head, there was a part of my head that was definitely screaming, like, people are going to be big mad about this, and I was like, yeah, they're big mad about Star Wars for like 4 years now. That wasn't going to change with this movie. But yeah, this might be an interesting podcast episode. We should probably just put it up. um, but and we can keep in all of my because I'm playing a video game and talking at the same
Talking
time.
about dinosaurs.
Yep. Uh, so like a lot of that stuff just didn't piss me off enough to pull me out. Like and then also there is certain things where and like I would have made a different movie than Rise of Skywalker 100%.
Let me
if
ask you
I
a
would-
question, Mike.
Yeah.
Unless, well, okay, I'm going to interrupt with this question.
Yeah.
Over the course of your nerddom fandom and taking in media from especially Star Wars, have you done a lot of book reading and comic book reading? I think the answer is
Yes.
yes, right?
Yes.
I think that might be a difference in where we come from with the IP and our take on people having different creative interpretations of how to flesh out the IP. Because if I feel like there might be something to this. You were talking earlier about the MCU, like the way that people respond to the Marvel universe on screen is, from my perspective, people have given it a lot more leeway because you start to hear the same, yeah, but in the comics, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And there's like, 3,000 different variations of Iron Man in the comic.
Yep.
They have a lot of similar DNA between one another, and so does the MCU version, but they're all different characters. They're all different creative takes on that.
Exactly.
So I didn't do a lot of reading of Star Wars.
I was really hoping you would end
Never-
the sentence there. I didn't do a lot of reading. Sorry, please continue.
That is also true. But of Star Wars in particular, like the only novels that I ever read were the Heir to the Empire series, and there was like 2 others that I read that were like that same time frame. I think that were also Timothy Zahn even. But not a lot of exposure to things. I'd never read a comic from Star Wars. So my exposure to the IP has always been the movies and then later on the television shows, which have been pretty, limited in their, or not limited, but more consistent. Even the prequels, while they retcon some things, were generally pretty consistent with a lot of like the underpinnings of the setting from the original trilogy. Whereas then the sequel trilogy came in, and because they chose to make so many creative changes about things, how things work in the Star Wars universe and how they work in the IP and what things can be expected and all of that, I think that's why I have more resistance to it, because I've just never been exposed to other people's having different interpretations of it.
That's a good theory. I would like to posit a different one, which is that our brains get less elastic as we get older. And I think some of the stuff you and Thomas are talking about, and Fragrance, remind me, I have a rant to go on at you in a minute. But I think when you see the people who are this new thing is trash, they generally tend to be 30s, 40s, sometimes 50s, 60s, 70s with, Trek people. Um, I think there comes a certain point where our brain is resistant to change, which is probably also a reason why so many people, as they get older, get more and more conservative, as silly as of a decision as that is to make, because it's just like your brain stops being open to new things and new interpretations as much. You just want, as Thomas was saying, the comfort blanket. Um, so I don't know. I think your point is very valid though too. I briefly have to rant at Fragrance because I said it's hard to pull me out of something, but there was something that pulled me out real hard, and that was the Luke Skywalker hallway scene in Mandalorian. Because I knew exactly what it was. It was somebody saying, "Oh, Luke in the Last Jedi wasn't my Luke, so I'm going to show you my Luke." And the problem is, at the end of Return of the Jedi, Luke almost gives in to the dark side, and when he almost gives in to the dark side, it makes him fight. And when he chooses instead love, and when he chooses redemption and forgiveness, that's when he chooses not to fight. And if you look at one of the things I really appreciated about Rise of Skywalker, which is kind of easy to miss, but if you look at the fight between Rey and the Knights of Ren and random stormtroopers at the end when she's facing off with the Emperor, Rey never attacks a single one of them. Every single strike she makes is reflecting a blaster bolt or in self-defense of some kind, because I would argue that's when she's truly becoming a Jedi for the very first time. The fact that I don't have any problem with Luke marching in and being a badass and, you know, rescuing Grogu, and I'm glad they did it with droids and he wasn't just slaughtering a room full of people, because that would have made me 1,000 times more angry. But I feel like the Luke Skywalker that I have in my head isn't a guy with a lightsaber starting fights. He's somebody who would have calmly walked into that space, waved his hand, and just broken something internally in the droids and shut them all down, without having to go through all the crazy and admittedly cool lightsaber choreography. And it was also such a parallel to that Vader scene, and like
Yes,
the Vader
that was
scene,
a point I was going to add.
yeah, the Vader scene isn't supposed to be heroic. the yeah, but that, I don't know. To me, that's not cool, Trexpert. Like real cool, yeah, but I don't know. I also just it's been really, really hard, y'all, and I know both of you know this. In the last 10, 20 years, you know, everything has become this, every fandom thing has become this flashpoint of like war and screaming at each other and hatred, and it sucks. It sucks to I always go on my rant about art can't be objectively good or bad, because I've spent all of my life loving things that everybody else tells me are trash. Um, and sorry, I was reading something Trexpert said. Yeah, he didn't. It's not that he showed him mercy, Trexpert. You're 100% right. He realized his entire approach to the situation was wrong. At least as far as I think of it. So when I saw The Last Jedi, I walked into the STO offices the next day, and I had this really great experience watching this movie. I really thought it was a really interesting take on Star Wars. The Yoda scene had made me cry. I came out really happy, and Rakosa and I had been talking about the fact that we were both going to see a midnight show. So I went into his office and I was like, hey, so what'd you think? And he was like, shut the door. And then he was like, do you really want to know? And like, I hated it. And I just had this moment in my head of, oh no, because I know if he hates it, that means there's this massive group of people who are going to hate it. And I feel like I had a little bit of a premonition of what that movie was going to do to the fandom. The point anyway, that's just a story. The point I'm making is I hate all the hate, and I much prefer to just enjoy things. And somebody once really upset me by calling me the guy who likes everything Star Wars and doesn't doesn't criticize any of it. And that's bullshit because I hated Andor. But I don't know. I'm just really.
I think you're touching on something that's kind of a bigger internet thing.
Yeah.
Like I play a lot of games. I like to game hop. And on the rare occasion when I actually get invested into a game that I've found or that is popular or whatever, I get very tempted to join that game's community to share my love of this setting with other people that might be like-minded. And 100,000% of the time, that makes me start hating the game.
Mm-hmm.
You can never find anybody that has that same unbiased joy for anything you might be experiencing, because the internet is a terrible place that breeds anger.
Yeah. And I feel like we did a good job with the STO community, at least building up a bastion of finding those people who weren't like that and giving them a voice and making them feel like they had a platform where they could talk about stuff. But yeah, it's everywhere. And it really comes down to, there's this sort of toxic what's the word I'm looking at? This sort of toxic like thing that we used to do for fun when we were kids, and then still a lot of people still do it even in their like 40s or 50s, where they just get together and yell at each other about the nerdy things they like. And I've never had fun doing that. There was a couple of times where I would go out to dinner or lunch with a bunch of STO devs, and I hadn't been around nerds in years because I've been working at GoPro before that, and everybody would just start angrily talking about things they hated, and I kept getting in trouble for getting mad at people.
But there's a way to do that. Like, I mean, we're doing it right now.
Oh, what's up, Eric? Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Hey, Eric.
Thank you very much for the raid.
22 more viewers.
We are having a deep discussion about fandom, Star Wars, and Star Trek that we did not plan to have on this lovely dinosaur day. And also, I'm joined by Thomas and Jeremy, who you guys might know. Okay, sorry, Jeremy, you were going.
Boy, but I kind of lost my train of thought. I was saying there is a way to have that kind of disagreement respectfully, and I think that this conversation between you and myself and Thomas isn't. We don't all agree about things about Star Wars or even Star Trek, or if we talk about Jurassic Park, I'm sure we have different takes on some of this stuff. But it doesn't have to be contentious. It doesn't have to be angry. It doesn't have to be rage baity. But the internet disagrees.
People. Yeah, I think some of that comes from people who are insecure, right? And so somebody's insecure about like, well, if they don't think the way that I think, does that mean that I'm wrong? Like, I can't be wrong, so you're wrong. it's like no, like if like I really like something, you don't like it, that doesn't mean it's bad. That doesn't mean and I know, Mike, we have talked about like there's no such thing as objectivity and quality of art. I think there's objectivity in discussing like the care and skill that goes into art.
Yes.
And that's what I'm concerned about preserving, is like the understanding that like somebody who was very skilled made this, or somebody just kind of shat this out to make some money, right? Like there are differences there, right? But
I think my issue with that is that we tend to say what someone's intent was without actually knowing a lot of the time. But
yeah,
anyway,
absolutely. No, you're right. Yeah. That's. But I mean, like the point you're making that I do agree with is that like ultimately everybody responds to art differently, and it doesn't really matter if somebody likes or dislikes something that you dislike or like. You can't turn that into some sort of contest or debate, because you're never going to convince that other person. Like, it's just a waste of time.
It's not about winning. It's about
Yeah.
you know, or you can't win because it's subjective.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are better ways to spend your time. Like, if you did really like something that not a lot of other people liked, then just go tell the person that made the thing you liked that you liked it, because that'll mean a lot to them, right?
You're right.
And
I
if
should
you
go
didn't,
tell to Paul W. Anderson that I really liked Mortal Kombat, and then maybe I can meet his wife.
there you go.
His wife is Mila Jokovic, for context.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off your train of thought. I'm so bad
no,
at
it's
interrupting
fine.
like that.
It's cool. I'm ultimately, I think one of these things with these big franchises that people need to remember is that the only reason they matter at all is because you like or you don't like them yourself. And that, if you don't like certain shows in the Disney Star Wars universe, then don't watch those shows. Like, they don't have to be part, like, it's not real, right? So
yeah,
it doesn't, like, but what I mean by that is nothing is canon unless you want it to be canon.
Yes.
Like, nothing, right? Like, if you don't like, I hate The Rise of Skywalker. I fucking hate it. So that's just not something that I think about when I think about Star Wars, because I don't want it to be in my own little personal version of Star Wars that lives in my head. And that's,
you could stay a Star Wars fan with that.
Right, exactly.
That's what I was saying earlier about the different headcanons and like different stories being told, is like, choose your own canon and don't yell at people for choosing theirs.
Yeah, and the same thing about, Star Trek or any other universe, right? It's make it a place you want to be, because ultimately it's all filtered through your perception anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you're the person that gets to enjoy it or not. So yeah, it's the one place where solipsism is totally acceptable.
I think I want to reinforce something you were saying previously too about the place and the purpose of art. And I think it's one thing that we lose sight of a lot, especially in big blockbuster franchises like this. The fact that they are still an artistic exercise in storytelling and collaborative creativity. Like, these are just filmmakers that are trying to tell good stories, and they're just all the set designers and everything like that. Ultimately, this is an artistic endeavor, a creative endeavor. The same could be true of video games. Is true of video games in my opinion. It doesn't really need to be truth. There's no single opinion that is correct about any of this. It's art. Yeah. And you're supposed to have a personal opinion of how you respond to art. That's kind of the whole intention of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Katrina is 100% correct. Actually, sorry, there is one central canon, and that is where Star Wars is about Asajj Ventress and nothing else. But there was something else I was going to say. Muwok wanted to know, and this is, I think, a really good question for you guys. How does choose your own canon impact professional work? Like, is it hard to include stuff in STO that you personally don't like? Yeah, is it, Thomas? Where's my Jaeger class, Thomas?
Well, just hold on. But I mean, that's a good point. We have to, I feel very strongly that Star Trek Online is a Star Trek theme park, and that you do have to offer, even if, certain things aren't, like the Kelvin movies aren't your favorite, like, when you include that stuff, it has to be faithful to the Kelvin movies, because it's for the people who want to go on that ride. Right, and so that they deserve to have their blankie too. Just because they have a blue blankie and I have a red blankie doesn't mean that, like, I'm gonna give them a shitty blankie. Like, I want them to have the joy and comfort of experiencing, what they loved about that stuff, and so we're gonna treat it with the same amount of respect that we treat the things that are special to me. And
that's. Trexpert said in the chat, I know he was just making a joke, but
this is what I was going to bring up. Yeah, I was going to say, because most of the people who work on Star Trek were in the era, or work on Star Trek Online, we're in that era of, God, I can't believe this Enterprise shit. This is the worst. How could they do this?
Right.
And that has led to, not even intentionally, like, it's not like, Al and you guys were like, fuck Enterprise, we're never putting Enterprise in, that's my goal. It's more just like when you guys are trying to think of cool stories that you want to tell, Enterprise isn't going to come up because it's not
Right.
amongst your favorites.
I think it's safe to say that there's never been a evangelist on the team for that series.
Yeah.
There's never been anybody who would consider it their favorite or the one that they go for the most. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the rest of the team hated it. I think most of us probably rated it below things like TNG or DS9, though, maybe in Voyager as well. But it just means that nobody was out here saying, "Hey, what about this thing from Enterprise?" on a regular basis.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I will say I'll go ahead and say that we recognize that, and that might be changing soon. So
I have no
so
idea what
keep
you're talking about. Genuinely, for the first time, I have no idea what you're talking about.
There is also, I will say though, just a slightly more logistical reason for it, which is that the stories of Enterprise tended to revolve a lot around like the early formation of the pre-Federation, exploration at low warp speeds.
Oh, you almost rhymed it all.
Is,
You were so close
yeah,
to rhyming
I was almost
all of
rapping. Yeah, I'm sorry. I failed you. But so those stories are really difficult to adapt, and that was kind of the cornerstone of a lot of their storytelling to an era that is outside of that same of being a peer to that era.
Yeah, which is of course nothing that's ever stopped us before. But
no, but if you're going to spend your time trying to adapt a Discovery story versus Enterprise story, there's just more cultural weight and behind doing it.
We don't have an Enterprise like faction or whatever, but there are actually a lot of Enterprise elements woven into other Stowe stories, right? Like Daniels is a huge part of the game. The Sphere Builders and then Nakul, that the whole arc about the Nakul, So I think we do have some. We're just. I think a lot of what we're missing are environments. Like we don't have the NX-01 bridge or interior, and
also actors.
And then we're just
missing
some of the ships. Yeah, and actors.
That's the thing that people mostly are talking about. Like, well, that we've except for Daniels, we've almost never had an Enterprise actor. In the game.
That's true. And again, I hadn't thought of that. And I think it's just because we really haven't had that evangelist proponent for that series on the team.
Yeah.
To bring up those guys. Because like I did actually get a chance to interact with I forgot the real names, Reed and Trip at one of the STLVs. And those guys are crazy. Could be fun to work with.
Yeah.
But we just we haven't brought them on board.
Yeah, Dominic Keating and
that's it. Yeah,
Connor Schneer.
Which one was the one that hugged me? Do you guys not remember the story?
Was he handsome or British?
Maybe it wasn't either of them. Wow, I just realized how that came out. Holy shit! My bad. Oh wow, that's a big monorail station. Oh, that's hilarious. So sorry.
I'm laughing at Thomas's. He can only be handsome or British. Like,
right? Yeah.
Oh. Perfect. Wait, no, I said this. Okay, one thing I'm noticing with this game, because this is definitely a gaming stream that we do, is that sometimes you click on things and nothing happens. Oh my god, come on. Just obstructed by monorail track. You're supposed to connect to the monorail track.
What the hell is that giant thing?
The monorail to get people around the park faster.
You're trying to place a station.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually one thing that I found frustrating about the what was it called? The roller coaster game.
Roller Coaster Tycoon?
No, the one that these guys, Planet Coaster. That's it. I always forget that name. Is like there's a lot of and also Planet Zoo. There's a lot of things that you just can't do, and they don't have very good error messaging of telling you why something doesn't work.
Yeah, terrain constraints is
figure it out.
Helpful. There we go. I got it. I think it's just, one of the things that I have always struggled with the Jurassic World games or the Jurassic World Evolution games is like just getting like crossing paths and things like that. It's just they've never quite
Yeah.
gotten right. Like if I try to build a Jurassic tour through here, I'll have to cross like this path and then the enclosure and then come out the other side, and it's just not going to let me do that.
Mhm.
Oh, what's up, Pundus? Why are you awake?
Hey, Keen.
Now leave the monorail line just like that so we reach the end, your car goes flying out into the ocean. That is actually what I'm going to do. That's the end of the line. Although I'll probably expand it once I start building over here. Oh man, there's a lot of space over here.
You can't build a water pen in the ocean, can you?
I
For like saltwater
wish.
dinosaurs.
Let's find out, because that would be dope as hell. No, it is
Also, you have a nice
outside the
little
buildable
cove
area.
inlet.
I
Okay.
know. You know what I should do? I should make like a beachy area right here. Like just hang out, see the dinosaurs.
Man,
Little resort.
you want to talk about taking my blankie away? Civ 7 was a real bummer.
I think
yeah.
I was interviewing for that job and almost got it for community managing the launch of
Oh
that
Jesus!
game.
Bullet
I was
dodge.
so
would've been
so
rough.
let down when I didn't get the job, and then like 6 months later
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, I think I was never supposed to, because they wanted me to move too. That was why they didn't give me the job.
Oh Jesus!
And I'm so glad I freaking didn't.
Yeah. Good lord.
I mean, they're making money. It's not a complete failure, but it is. I sympathize with you,
Yeah.
Thomas.
Oh
'cause
no,
I
totally.
haven't played it, but I was very curious about the negative reactions, and so I watched a bunch of like long form let's plays and stuff. And man, I'm kudos to those game devs for taking some risks, but not the ones I wanted.
When
in
they
a game that I
described
wanted
those
to play.
risks to me during the interview, it sounded great. Like dividing things up into different eras and making it easier to play a game of Civilization. And I was like, this all sounds really good, but I haven't played it either. Apparently, they just did not land it.
Yeah, I played it some, so I played it like right when it came out. I bought it and played it, and then I stopped because they didn't implement auto explore. Like that just wasn't a feature in the game.
Oh,
And there were no tooltips for any of the yields and all that shit, and it was like very clearly half baked. Like it was rough. It was not done.
Or worse still, and I hope this isn't the case, but they might have been purposefully sandbagging features for future DLC.
I hope.
I don't think so.
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't think so, because they did add auto explore in recently, and it was free. Like you didn't have to pay for it. So I just think there was some disaster in development, and they had to start over, and they just missed one too many launch windows and had to come out with
something.
But like that the UI was very rough and missing so much information and missing so many options. There were no huge maps. Like no large or huge maps.
The Civilopedia was like half empty. Was that you that mentioned that?
I don't remember if I said that, but it was true. Like I kept looking for things. Like, what does this mean? What does this do? And it's just not in the Civilopedia.
Oh man, that's rough.
And like, yeah, it was kind of shocking, like the state that it was in. So I got a refund, and I actually left a negative review, not because I didn't want other people to buy the game, but I wanted Take-Two to understand. Well, I actually wanted it to be. I wanted the developers, or not really developers, but the publisher to understand, like, hey, this is like a problem, and this is costing you money. Like the way you release this game, like, is cost you a sale, and yeah, like warning other people is a side effect of that. But they do, like, publishers do look at those Steam reviews.
Oh yeah.
And and then I bought it again after they implemented Auto Explorer, and they've done a lot of work on the UI since then. The UI is in much better shape now, but I bounced off it again because I actually don't like the way they implemented the age system, where you pick a new civ every time. I
Mhm.
just found out I really don't like that. It really, because it
You want to
doesn't.
do one civ from the
It's
beginning to the end.
Well, that's the whole fantasy. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
build a civilization that stands the test of time. That's
It's always been
what's on
part
the
of Civ.
fucking box. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a whole different civilization every time. I thought you had to pick a new leader every time, which made a lot of sense to me. But making it a
Well,
whole
but
no,
that's-
civilization
no,
is weird.
The
you pick
leaders and
a leader.
civilizations are hand in hand.
Yeah,
They
well,
are
so
the same thing.
in this game, your leader actually. So what I pretty sure how it works. Your leader stays the same, but your civilization changes.
Mhm.
You can
In
be
each,
Abraham Lincoln, leader of the Egyptians.
well, it's depending on like what you start as and then what choices you make, like unlock different civ options as you play. Um,
Oh.
and so like, but yeah, essentially yes, like you could be, or you start as Abraham Lincoln, leader of the Egyptians, with the intent that eventually you get to be the the United States, but the United States isn't actually an option until
The modern era.
the
or
modern
something like
age.
that.
Yeah,
Got it.
something like
Okay.
that. Yeah. And it's just, and it's like I get what they were going for, but also I just don't like it. It's not, it doesn't work for
Yeah.
And
me.
you know,
You know what I
sometimes
mean?
that's
And
just
that's,
it. Sometimes it's not,
yeah,
it's not like the biggest mistake anyone's ever made. It's just, yeah, I don't like it.
yeah. And so I, unfortunately, I played too much at that point to get a refund again. So now I still have it. So joke's on me, I guess. But I don't know. It really, and so it's not just that your civilization changes, but also like all of your improvements like don't do anything anymore. You have to build new improvements over them. And then all of the resources change between eras, like what their bonuses. So it's like if you get copper in the Stone Age or whatever, then when you go up to the Exploration Age, what copper gives you changes. Which
Mhm.
again, it makes sense in the abstract, but playing a game, it's like I have to relearn all this shit. Like I don't want to. Like
Yeah.
I don't I don't want, it's just not a good like user experience to build your empire a certain way around these certain inputs, right? And then all of a sudden everything you have like either disappears or changes because your units also disappear. Like
Oh.
they
Yeah,
yeah,
I can't see how they would think anyone would want to play a roguelike civilization, which is kind of what
that's
it sounds
kind of
like
what
you're
it turned
describing.
into.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to. I don't know if anybody's ever described it that way, but I actually think it's a really great way to describe it, like how it feels, because it's like a lot
I
of
wonder.
what happens, yeah, resets
I wonder if at
for
some
each
point in their
era.
development that they were planning it to be a more bite-sized Civ, where you would just play a single era, and you get
Well,
a
that
score.
was one of
Yeah.
the things they pitched me on during the interview, was that the default, not necessarily the default, but a big selling point was going to be that you played, like, you would just play one era and you could have a shorter, like, lunch break game of Civilization.
Mhm.
Obviously not exactly how it worked out, and definitely not what the Civ fan base wanted.
Well, there's
Yeah, I
there's
think,
a
yeah.
console, and I think it might have been on mobile too, called Civ Revolutions, I believe.
Frexpert was just saying that was really good.
Civ Rev,
Yeah.
which is a
Yeah.
shorter gameplay experience, and I don't know, maybe they were trying to pull that in and capitalize on something like that for the PC
It's-
market.
It
The thing
seems
is,
like,
I just
yeah,
don't think that's the niche that Civ is built for.
Yeah.
no.
When you're on your 7th iteration of a well-known franchise that plays a certain way, should you be reinventing the wheel?
And that's, that's the thing that happens when you're making the same game over and over forever. Is you're like, well, you hear the feedback of, well, the game isn't, this I can't play a quick game, and you've been hearing that feedback for 7 generations, and so you say to yourself, well, there must be a huge audience that wants to play a really quick game of Civilization, and turns out there isn't.
Right. It's just that one guy who kept
Yeah.
posting on Reddit 5,000 times.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it's the curse of like, oh, we know all these assholes are going to buy Civilization, so we don't have to worry about making them happy. But how can we trick all the people who aren't going to buy Civilization into buying it? And so
Yeah.
you try all this other stuff, and it just backfires because what happens is the people who love it are going to early adopt, then they're going to create the narrative. So
Yeah.
whether or not you would have gotten new players, anybody who hears anything about Civ 7 is going to hear, oh, it sucks, it was unfinished, it's not, it's the worst Civ game ever. And so the new people aren't going to show up for that.
Yep.
Because whether or not you made it for them, they don't care. All they care about is they hear the constant, negativity about the game. And so,
Yeah.
okay, well, I guess I shouldn't play that game. And so you have to keep, you do have to keep the people who, your loyal diehard fans, you have to keep them in your thoughts and make sure that you're
Mm-hmm.
In
you're
your thoughts
serving
and
that
prayers.
audience too. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I know that it's easy from an outsider's perspective to say I would have just done it this other way,
Mhm.
but I'm going to
Mhm.
say it anyway. I think they should have just made a good Civ game and then tried to do like single era gameplay as like a game mode, and not the whole game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of like famous scenarios for Civ that are just that are just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. True.
here's the the Hannibal invasion of Carthage or whatever, right? Like um and it's just that map and that era and everything. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
there was even, I think, Civ 2 had an awesome like alien invasion scenario that was super
Really?
cool. And
That sounds
oh
fun.
yeah, it was the expansion for Civ 2, and I forget what it was called, but I think I still have the manual for it. Um, but it was, yeah, the scenarios in Civ, they've done some really cool stuff. And yeah, I don't know, Civ 7 just seemed like a giant step back in terms of like what should be a flagship
Yeah.
franchise, one of the stalwarts, one of the most prestigious names in gaming, like, period.
Mhm.
It was just so half baked.
Yeah.
Like, forget about scenarios. Like, you couldn't even make a large map. Like their map generation was also really terrible. So like you could make a map that had two continents, but they were just like big rectangles. Um, yeah, it was really rough. They have done a lot of work on it since, but the era stuff is, like I said, it just played it and decided I didn't like it. It wasn't what I wanted a Civ game to be.
It's too
That's not
bad.
the kind of, yeah.
I was gonna say it's too bad that the like they had such a good run because Civ 5, as everybody in chat was saying, is excellent, one of the
Hmm.
best. And then Civ 6, I also thought was really really good.
Yeah, I really
Mhm.
like Civ 6.
Yeah, and then just running smack into this
Especially with
wall.
the expansions. I still prefer
Mhm.
Civ 5 over it, but Civ 6, I will admit it was a really good game.
Yeah.
Um, speaking of new installments in a well-established franchise that all three of us are familiar with, have you guys played the Voyager game that came out recently?
I looked at the
Uh,
trailer, and my comment in the Discord was, "This looks boring," and I don't know if I'm crazy, but
I've
like,
not tried it. I haven't tried it. I downloaded the demo, but I haven't tried it.
Yeah, I think you should try it out, Thomas. Just from we work in this IP, we should see what other people are using.
Oh
Are
yeah, no, I
using
will.
it
I
for.
will for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
It's
we can have that conversation later then,
well, we
because
can have that
Yeah.
I
conversation
haven't
now. If
played
you
it.
played it, it's interesting. I want to know more.
I've only
What you
played the
thought.
demo, which was about like 3 hours of content. Like, there's a lot to it. Yeah. I don't know. This is another area where I think Star Trek, even across games of multiple genres, Star Trek has areas where I think where players and fans, I think, expect certain types of gameplay from Star Trek. It's generally like flight sims, strategy games, and storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what they're doing with Voyager is a departure from all of that stuff. It's a strategy game, but it's like a what if scenario filled with Voyager storylines that you get to make the decision on how they play out.
Oh.
So there's
Okay.
the canon version, but then there's alternate versions. To be fair, though, the demo doesn't have. It has one, but you don't get to see the actual like resolution of that, or if it has any ramifications down the line. You could make a different choice of how to deal with the Okampa in the first episode.
Got it.
But again, you don't really see how that plays out long term in the demo, so I'm not really sure if there is a payoff. What I wanted to talk about though is just the gameplay, because they're doing it's like roguelike exploration and colony building, because you have to rebuild the interior of Voyager. The conceit of that layer is it like when the ship is taken by the caretaker array, it's also almost completely destroyed. Instead, it took some damage in the show, but in this version, it's like you have 2 rooms and the rest of the ship is just filled with debris.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, the idea of a colony builder Star Trek game isn't speaking to me, and it felt like a misstep for the IP. I don't know what I wanted. I think I wanted more focus on actually exploring the Delta Quadrant, I think. But the exploration is not there. The only exploration that you could do in the demo anyway is just like the important story beats. There's no like just open exploration of, hey, this is a planet that we heard about in the Delta Quadrant. I just noticed your wall floating in the trees.
Right? Yeah, I was just going, why is that there? There we go. Down to earth now.
So I don't know. This is another area where I almost feel like the developers of the game just wanted to make a game, and then later on might have even decided that Voyager might be an interesting plug-in to it, because it doesn't feel like, if you think of what a Voyager game could be, this doesn't feel like what I would expect from a Voyager product. I don't know if my thoughts are making sense.
No, they are. I totally get what you mean. It feels like somebody else was making a different game and then tacked Voyager on at the last minute.
Yes, or they wanted to explore like doing a reenactment of Voyager, which is kind of what this game feels like it might be. But they didn't want to burden themselves by having you exactly replay the plot of the shows. So they tried to include like variant choices and stuff like that, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the choose your own adventure kind of stuff is super tricky, because the only way to do that well is to actually show what happens if you make a different choice, and like and then that all that work compounds, right, as you make, like, the butterfly effect happens, and as you make a different choice, that leads into a whole other set of different choices that you then have to make, and that's the only way to do it well. And so if you don't do that, then people aren't going to feel like you've delivered on the promise of, like, can you be a better captain than Janeway, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
but that's also another thing that it rubbed me a little wrong that was kind of the conceit that was going on as you play as the Voyager crew. And I can understand wanting to like play as Kirk. That kind of fantasy is very strong. I understand that. But you would be less beholden to trying to play out those exact story beats and deal with the web of consequences if you were a different ship. If you could make your own captain that got lost in the Delta Quadrant, and you're not Janeway and the crew of the Voyager. You're some.
I mean, you could
ship.
even do it with Equinox, right? Like, because they ended up being bad guys. So like, we know what happens when they make the wrong choice. But I mean, ostensibly, according to the morals of Star Trek, Janeway did the right thing, and so I think fundamentally the message of the game has to be that Janeway made the right choices. And in which
every
case,
time you
why
do
is
something wrong, every time you do something, it's just more evidence as to why you're wrong and bad.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so but that's exactly where I was going to go with that. It's like, if the fun of the game is, well, what happens if I do the thing Janeway didn't do? but like, are we gonna suddenly have a situation where like, oh yeah, you could have gotten them there in 3 months if you had just done this other thing with no negative,
Consequences
outcomes,
whatsoever. We could
and
have
so
saved
Janeway's a chump.
Tuvix. Yeah, we could have saved Tuvix, and it's all Janeway's fault.
Right. Right. And so you can't have that happen, right? We can't have Janeway be a chump. Like she has to be, she has to remain a hero and ultimately remain, one of the best examples of a Starfleet captain, just for the sake of the brand.
Right.
I wonder
and so
if that is how.
yeah.
Like, I wonder if that factored into their choice to make Voyager, because there is a huge contingent of the Trek fandom that's always very like, Janeway, I could do that so much better than Janeway. Sexist? What are you talking about?
Well, I think if you watch, like I rewatched Voyager a couple of years ago, and like in terms of like holding up Starfleet ideals, Janeway's actually one of the best ones. Like she's actually very conscientious about that stuff, even given the difficult circumstances. Now they could have dived deeper into that as a show. Like I'm not saying that Voyager is like the best written show or anything, but I do think that that Janeway as a character and Kate Mulgrew as an actress, like it's still an aspirational Star Trek character, and I think she did a great job manifesting that. And I think that if the crux of your game is supposed to be like, can you do better than Janeway? Like for the sake of the brand and the integrity of that character and what that character still means to new Star Trek, since she's like a central figure on Prodigy, like that answer has to be no. The player can't do it better than Janeway.
Yeah, right. But then what is the gameplay?
Exactly. Yeah.
Echoing Janeway's choices then.
Yeah.
Right.
Or choosing to fail.
So
I don't know if that's the case though. I just didn't see enough of it play out.
In that case, what you guys said about, it would be better with a new ship is 100% true. It would just, this sort of thing would work better if you're captaining your own ship, which was honestly, now that I think about it, what what was the game? The choose your own adventure-ish game that came out recently, the Telltale style Star Trek game. Resurgence?
Oh, Resurgence.
Yeah, Resurgence.
Yeah.
I think that was what they were trying to do with a game with a lot of deep choices and stuff like that. And if these Ankylosauruses aren't happy with their nest and think it's visible to guests at this point, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm so mad. Anyway, but I think that's what they tried to do.
Oh, they don't want it visible. I see.
Yeah.
I was wondering why you were walling it in. I didn't get it.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, it's partially visible to guests, and I'm like, how? I have so many walls. I'm gonna go to guest view and look around. Anyway, it's because this is slightly up. Probably.
I wrote a one-page game pitch for a game I called Star Trek Independence that would have you play as a non-aligned, like start out as freighter captain.
Oh, cool.
And then it essentially like explored the Star Trek universe. I didn't decide which era, but you would eventually be able to like change out to other ships, align yourself with the Klingons or Federation or Cardassians.
Yeah, that's kind of what they did with Fleet Command. The player ship starts out as an unaligned ship, and then you can choose your allegiance, and then buy into a Klingon ship or Romulan ship or whatever.
I was picturing something
Fleet
kind
Command
of
had a story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they added their.
Oh my god.
They added their own. They actually added their own Enterprise recently, except that, and I'll say this on stream. I don't care. They ripped off one of our ships.
Oh no!
Extremely blatantly. Like you can go. You look at the Enterprise that they recently released, and then you look at the command cruiser from Stowe, and there are elements that are just like 1-to-1, like that is the Concorde, I think. So anyway, like normally, I'd want to talk
the Fleet Command had Googled Star Trek and come up with
right.
stuff.
Yeah, normally I play nice with other Star Trek licensed partners, but that shit is unacceptable. That's over the pale. Like they they can afford to hire a concept artist to make their own starship. Like I don't, I'm very frustrated by that. But anyway,
I was
Or if
very
they wanted
frustrated.
to use, if they want to use one of our ship, they could also have just come to us. Like we're partners,
Yes.
we're licensors. Like we should be able to have these open conversations with them.
Oh,
But-
it's the fucking monorail. Sorry, please continue.
oh
That's
yeah,
why
that makes
it didn't-
sense.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
But how do the dinosaurs know that there are people in the monorail?
They don't. They just know they don't want to get it on while there's a big train overhead. All right, roofs. I'm making you guys a little house.
Hide us from the metal worm.
Why is this roof so small? But yeah, yeah. My big frustration with Fleet Command was just looking at sitting in Mission Chicago and seeing ad after ad after ad with every Star Trek actor who had ever existed being like, "Why do you have this much money?"
Well, I mean the mobile
Oh, that's another thing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna
The-
say
the
the mobile
Void-
business model is new users, like churn, right?
Yeah.
So they get lots of money. They're totally dependent on new users because they churn through people so fast. So
Yeah.
they have to spend a lot on new user acquisition because unlike Stowe, they can't rely on people to stick around and spend for a long time.
Oh my god.
So Star Trek actors, that's another thing that I was really puzzled at about the Voyager game. Like there's no celebrity voices. There's not even sound bites like taken from the IP. And even the
Oh,
music
weird.
is not Star Trek licensed music. Like you open the game, I know I was expecting the Voyager theme song, but what I got was some sort of weird ripoff. Not even really all that Star Trek sounding.
Oof.
It was just something else. And yeah, that stood out to me as well. Like I actually, to the point of, was this officially licensed?
Well, it also came out with like no fanfare, and sometimes people are trying to do that like as like a surprise release. But when I always get a little nervous when I've never heard of a game and then suddenly it's out.
Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about? Partially hidden. No one can see you. Oh wait, maybe right there. Sorry, please continue. Duplicate.
Thomas, do you know what Trexpert's asking about? Something about Uhura and Timelines?
Oh, I don't know.
Timelines is another
No,
one of those mobile games, right?
Yeah, it's
yes.
a mobile game.
Timelines has been a lot nicer to us.
Oh,
over the
yeah.
years.
No, I actually played that for quite a bit. I remember it.
Yeah.
Timelines is
essentially
more is like a duty
officer
officers.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely busy work, like in terms of a mobile game, but like I enjoyed it.
It worked
well,
for me.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't bother me because the Reliant is canon, so like they don't have to ask us anymore.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
They can, like it was on. I don't think they included it because it was Stowe ship. I think they included it because it was a Star Trek Picard ship. Yeah, it is a Stowe design, but since it became canon in Picard, I don't feel like we have a say anymore, right? Like that's just anybody can use it. It's
Yeah,
canon.
it's not an XTO exclusive anymore. Same with
Right.
the Odyssey now.
Yeah, but I mean, what frustrated?
Please,
what
other
frustrated-
games, use
Yeah.
it.
Right. Yeah. And like Jeremy said, like if they had come to us and said, "Hey, we like this ship. Can we put it in our game?" We would have said yes. We always say yes. But they didn't do that, and then they took elements of it and changed them, or adapted them into something that was totally new, and then claimed it as their own version of the Enterprise. And these elements are all very distinct and very obviously like this thing, like this specific thing, from Stowe. So it was just I actually intend to follow up on it because to me it is an unacceptable thing to do to another like ongoing partner in the IP. And I actually wonder if they outsourced it and then their internal team didn't even know that that's what was going on. I give them the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, I don't like. I just the lack of effort, right? Like you could have easily just come up with something original. And why didn't you? Why did you take elements of our ship that are very distinct and very obviously from our ship? There's no argument. Like I could make and I will have to do this, make an image of like, okay, the impulse engines in the hull like this. No other ship does it like this except for ours. It's not like a common Star Trek trope. This is only on the Concorde. These little 3 blue lines in the warp nacelle, angled and curved in this direction, only on the Concorde. Like this is, yeah, it's very, very clear to the point where I have to wonder if they used a rip model from Stowe and then just fucked around with it until they got what they got.
So that reminds me a lot of when I was working on Champs. We had a thing where one of the this is completely hidden from guests right here. Okay, sure. That's completely hidden from guests. Absolutely. Love it. Thank you. We had a thing where we were doing a classic superhero box, lockbox, and we sent out to one of our outsource partners for it, and I think Julia sent them like, here's some things on here's like some classic superhero designs like Ant-Man and stuff. And what we got back was, here's Ant-Man wearing like Batman symbol. Or like, here's...
Yep. Jesus.
It was just like, we can't use this.
Yeah, that's kind of why I feel like it's probably wasn't necessarily. I mean, I could be wrong. But it's disappointing that I even have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
It's funny how I feel like this conversation is just from a different perspective, similar to one we were having earlier about being respectful to the IP.
Being respectful to each other. Well, I think
absolutely.
we being Stowe, even though I'm not a part of Stowe anymore, I think we have this kind of feeling of we're all one big Star Trek family. That's why we did stuff like Fleet Week every year.
Yeah.
And we should all take care of each other as one big Star Trek family. And I think there are probably other developers who don't view it that way, who think, this is this is our thing.
It's just a means to make money.
Yep.
It's my profession. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have to place roofs on anything. I could just place them hanging off into space. Somewhere Nick is screaming.
It's good to know that alongside dinosaur cloning, these scientists have perfected anti-gravity devices for your buildings. It's handy. Mm-hmm. Very handy.
Makes sense to me.
They still said it
equally outlandish, right?
Yeah. Guys, that's the most beautiful roof anyone's ever built. Okay, I'm going to move this down. No.
I had so one of my biggest problems with getting into these types of games is not knowing, like, you have so much freedom that I don't know what I want to make.
Yep.
But then I had the idea the other day for a Planet Coaster park that was inspired by Lego Space. So it's like here, because you can paint stuff, right? You can change colors and stuff. So it's like, we could do here's the Ice Planet land and here's the Blacktron land, and like, but it's all sort of sci-fi theme. I think that'd be pretty fun.
I really wanted to make a, like, in this park and in this mode, I really wanted to make like a like cyberpunk dinosaur park, and I think you could do it with all of the like different like building tools and stuff you have, because if you want, like, any of these buildings, you can literally build from the ground up. Yeah, Dino Riders, hell yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So you know, but it would also be a literal ass load of work. And
That's
yes.
actually one of the
Yeah.
things that kind of burned me out on the original Planet Coaster was I started having ideas for things that I wanted to do, but I don't have the artistic skills to feel confident or to feel like it would be fun to build
Yeah.
assets.
I think that's
to,
the
Right,
big
yeah.
one, is
games
feeling
and
like
things
it
like
would be
that.
fun.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I only have so many hours in my day now, and
Yeah.
Mike
Right.
Mike and I were talking about that earlier. It's like the best time in your life to play these games is when you're 13 years old
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and can just like shotgun a
And it's
full
summer.
Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
weekend. I'm gonna play Jurassic World for the rest of time.
Yep.
Trexpert,
I'm gonna get up to pee sometimes.
Yep.
Matt Miller called it poop socking.
Oh no! Arcane, I have it. Please post that in the Discord so we can take a look at it. The 80s show I was talking about, Trexpert, is Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. The theme song was Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. You know, like you do.
Nice. Nice.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh man, indeed. Okay.
We're coming up on 4 hours. I think I'm gonna bow
Yeah, we
out.
should
Let's,
probably. No, I think it's a good time. We've had an awesome conversation, though. Thank you guys for hanging out today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how much
Thanks for coming,
dinosaurs
Jeremy.
we did,
It's great
but
to
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great to talk about not work.
Yeah.
I
Thanks
was
for inviting me to pop in. That was fun.
I was thinking to myself as I was watching the Deca stream, because you just reminded me, Thomas, by thanking Jeremy before I could. I was thinking watching the Deca stream of like, man, look at Thomas and Jeremy running this entire interview all by themselves. I'm so proud of them. Look at how they've grown up. I mean, Jeremy, obviously you've been doing this for a long time, but it was still fun.
I was a podcaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You were
yeah.
a podcaster before it was cool.
Well, I'm glad I got
Literally.
your seal of approval, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up here. Because
Do you want us to go so you can say goodbye to your streamers?
no, you guys can hang out while I say goodbye to my streamers. It's not gonna take long.
Okay. All right.
Do you guys have anywhere you want to plug though? Anything you want to say, like socials or anything like that?
If you're
just,
into STO, make sure you're part of our Discord. I don't know if everybody here is in the loop, but Deca launched an official new Discord like about a month and a half ago, so check that out if you haven't already.
Yeah, and I'll just say I'm Thomas the Cat on Blue Sky. Also, a Halloween event. We've got some really cool. I'm really proud of all the work that went into that, into the Red Shirt Zombies and stuff. So, if you play STO, go check that out. Also, the emotes are a lot of fun. I'm proud of the new emotes we added, especially the subspace portal emote. I hope we can turn that into an AFK emote at some point.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, everyone go read Thomas's proposal story. We mentioned it at the beginning of the stream. But yes, go read it on Blue Sky. It's great. Thomas did a fantastic job. Okay, so if you're not already in the Vengeance God fan Discord, there's a link right there. Come join us. We've got a really cool community. People hang out and chat. Sometimes even these guys. We've also got merch. The one that's probably most relevant to the discussions that we had today is this T-shirt, where you can be right about The Last Jedi. It doesn't matter what you think; you can just be right. This is my Venn diagram shirt that shows me at the center of spaceships, swords, and superheroes, because that's kind of all my interests seem to fall into one of those categories. This is the Ludonarrative Dissonance shirt. Well, we talked about Ludonarrative Dissonance earlier on this stream. Well, one time we talked about it here was when you guys made a whole bunch of Ludonarrative jokes, and I loved them, and they're all on this shirt. Well, not all of them. We've also got You Madrin, Bro, which everybody needs. We've got the Proud Captain of a Frisbee Strapped to a Canoe shirt, which Duncan designed for us, and the USS Oberth, a Frisbee Strapped to a Canoe, kind of a Date Your Starship look for the Oberth there, that also was designed by Duncan. We've got a shirt for Warframe Wednesdays, even though they're now Warp Space Wednesdays. If you haven't had a chance, go back and watch our VOD from Wednesday night of us playing Joe's game Soulmates, because it was a lot of fun and really funny. And finally, we've got the Vengeance God logo shirt. I think Cujo Narrative Dissonance is already in there, Jeremy, but if not, I'll make sure we add it. Also, for me, on next, I believe that's Monday. Yeah, on Monday, come and join me on Goodberry Cafe. I'm going to be playing a game where we are all magical girls that transform into Universal Monster kind of things. I think I might end up being a Kamen Rider Mothman. And we're raising money to help a good friend of mine who got completely screwed over by a convention, traveled thousands of miles on her own dollar to perform for them in cosplay, told she would be reimbursed for everything and paid for her time, and then was not in any way. So go support this, please. They are streaming all the time this week, so if you just go to I'll just actually do a shout out in chat. Goodberry Cafe. Go ahead and give them a follow so you can see when they're going live this week. All right. Thomas, you're aware that your fiance knows every single person on the planet, right?
Oh yeah, I'm aware.
All right. I also have a wish list. If you want to buy me stuff, I won't say no. There's a Scarlett 2i2 is the thing I'm looking for right now. It's a machine that will allow me to connect my good microphone because mine's broke. Alice Wetterland is on. Good. This is good. And also the League of Swords. So, we're going to be having a League of Swords Kickstarter very soon, probably the end of November. And it's going to be for our biggest show ever at Geeky Tees in Burbank. And we would love your support. So keep an eye on it. Obviously, I'll be shouting it out from this channel constantly. And I hope that you all come and join me. And if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, that link in chat right there will take you right there. All right. I think that's it. So let's see who we're going to raid. I opened it up and my browser was set to the Lego Jurassic Park gate. And so now I'm like, I don't have $430. Dang it. All right, let's throw it over to Alice because that sounds fun. One day, I think I'm going to have Trexford and Rachel fight to the death, and the winner gets to pick who I raid once. But we will raid Alice this time because I have a huge crush on her, and that's not something she needs to know. All right, everybody.
All right, so everybody, the raid message is Vengeance God has a huge crush on you.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
no.
No, please don't. please don't. She'll probably be like, I know, everyone does. All right. Thank you all very much for being here. We will see you soon. I'll be back on Tuesday right after the Deca stream, if there is a Deca stream. Otherwise, I'll be around 11 probably to do some STO. So I will see you then. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.